Okay, guys, I think I'm live. I think we're live. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, Grace, wherever you are. Did I watch anything? I'm trying to think if I watched anything yesterday. I stopped in at VP for just a minute. Her new account got monetized, but I didn't stick around. I think she was like just kind of doing her thing where she just kind of hangs out. She doesn't really talk to chat or anything. Let's see. I watched Healthy Family Force for a little bit. I don't remember. Oh, they got Gloria a new TV. They got Gloria a big 65-inch TV. It was like pretty cool. I saw Lol Cow Rejects was Dalmatian Dog all night again, pretty much. I think King stopped in eventually. Bethadone Clinic did a video. Oh man, Ruby had on a bunch of people, I think. Did Ava do a panel? Or did Ruby? No. Did Ruby appear on a panel yesterday? Maybe Ava's or Lowe's, maybe? I can't remember. Anyway, that's all the news I have. I don't know what the Thorpes are getting up to. On this channel, of course, tomorrow is Primetime with George Dorunda. Friday is Memphis Wrestling. I've got taste tests for the Burger King Soarin' Strawberry Lemonade, which I filmed at a tennis court of all places. Let's see what else is there. I got a Poppy taste test coming. The like that weird probiotic drink. Reviews. I'm starting the RoboCop series. I'm gonna finish up Doolittle. I watched the like Robert. Yeah, that's what it is. South to West. Yes. So Ben and Ruby made peace, but Ruby was like kind of walking it back a little bit. She was like, "Well, this doesn't mean there's going to be a collab, but like you can't go through the things that those say the things and do the things that these sides have done to each other, I feel like, and just make peace." Like I feel like there has to be like a maybe like a business purpose behind it. It doesn't seem like either side is just looking to like clear their conscience and move on, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm interested to see what happens, how Ruby's chat takes it if she continues to interact with the Thorpes, because there are definitely people in there who like do not like that she talks to the Thorpes, especially having them on her show and everything. But anyway, I think that's about it. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but YouTube has relaxed its rules on certain types of inappropriate content. It's mostly around like controversial topics. It used to be that if over a quarter of the video was like against TOS or whatever on a long form that they would take it down. That's been expanded to half now, which in theory should be a net positive because it will allow like more open discussion and stuff. We'll see if it's evenly applied, but Ruby back in the RV. I think Ruby collabing with the Thorpes directly would really make her chat interesting. And obviously, like, I mean, what do you think, Joe? Do you think there'll be another bridge burning? Or do you think that Ruby's going into it like mentally prepared for, is she expecting bad things, or is she going into this with an open mind, with a clear mind and an open heart? It'll be interesting. But yeah, the YouTube thing is pretty interesting. In theory, it could open up being able to watch more like, more out there stuff, I guess. Hopefully, they'll enforce it evenly, but I think it was mostly like I'm trying to think. Well, Meta updated their stuff as soon as Trump got in, which basically said that like you could now they were removing the hate speech from. Basically, they framed it like we'll have more open discussions about this topic of like all these like gender and race and stuff like that. But again, I don't know if it's being evenly applied. I don't know. Who knows? Speaking of heart, I heard Genie was sung 69's Mary Dragon in Mary Lou Dragon, one of tomorrow's episodes. We're due for like a gangbusters primetime. Anyway, I mean, it's all just speculation until we see how they're gonna enforce it. But anyway, let's get started. This is classic daytime talk shows. This is Geraldo Rivera, Party Line Horror Stories, and I think this has the commercials too.
This is Brigitte. Is there anybody
We may only have time for one or for two episodes, two different shows, because this one's got all the commercials, but we'll see where we're at after the second one.
on the line?
Hi, my name is Dave. I work in real estate. What do you do? Is this the same Debbie from last night?
Why don't we get together at my place for a party?
Oh, and this is 1988.
If you believe the ads, life's a party, and party lines are the newest, hottest way to meet the love of your life.
The New York Party Connection. Only 95 cents a minute. Call now and get in on the fun.
The ads promise to let you in on the good times, even if you're shy.
I feel awkward. I've never met people this way before.
I feel
I know
awkward.
what you mean. I've tried the personal columns, and I'm tired of bars.
They offer the chance of romance, a dream date your friends will envy, even if they think you've lost your head.
Well, what's he
Oh, I do want to say this though. If you remember, hey F-Wood, when I watched Alex Jones on here, we watched one of the Alex Jones documentaries. I got banned on Twitch for it, and then my stream got taken down here because of one segment where they showed like, I don't remember if it was Abu Ghraib or it was some kind of like war footage or like prisoner footage, and it was like 60 seconds out of like a 3-hour stream. That would specifically not be a problem under the new rules. Like, it specifically says that they will not be taking down videos that are like, long form videos that have very short instances of contextual violent images or videos.
look like?
But I'm sure there
I
are
don't know.
limits to what that
I've
violence
spoken
can
to him
be,
5 or 6 times through the line, but I don't know what he looks like. He sounds great.
You're crazy.
South to west
As
is at the
unintentionally
door.
funny as these ads may be, there have been problems for party line lovers. Kids have run up phone bills in the thousands. And though the ads suggest a fairy tale date, as these headlines say, it could turn out to be a horror story. Now, the experiences of Tony Fleming and Lester Aldous were nightmares. They were far from finding a great social life, what they experienced. Both Tony and Lester are from Chicago. We welcome them. They
Oh
have had
my
a tough
gosh.
time with
Oh my god.
party lines. Tony, how tough has it been for you? How much have you spent?
Close to $2,500 before it was banned
Tony
from Island.
Fleming.
I three-wayed with him, so he paid for it.
Did you guys meet over the phone?
Yeah.
Wait, Ben still wants a
And
lolcow
I
show?
understand it led to some pretty drastic side effects in your life.
Which includes a phone bill $6,100 and
Yo.
even being shot at from an irate caller.
How'd you get into it, Tony? Let's start with you.
Well, I was
$6,100
home one
bucks to
night,
jerk it?
It was pretty late in the evening, probably 1 o'clock in the morning. And there wasn't much to watch on television, and there wasn't much to do anywhere else, so I started sitting there and I was thinking, and all of a sudden
Hey,
I heard a
Russell
little
Blunt,
jingle
you guys
going
think
through
King
my
TL ever
head, and
called
it
one
was,
of these?
one of the local 900 numbers. And I was like, what is this? So I picked up the phone and I dialed, and it was bizarre. There was people that I never even heard of coming from towns I never heard of. It was bizarre talking
I've
to
never
so
heard
many
of your
people at
town.
one
Tell
time.
me about it while
We
I
ended up
pay
becoming
99 cents a
disconnected because
minute.
they were testing out the lines. I called up my friend immediately, and I said, you got to try this out. He ended up becoming addicted as well. What it was is that I would begin talking with someone.
D-Dog
I'd
quit.
find them interesting.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it time to close the curtain on the lolcow rejects experiment? I mean, I don't know. It seems like the only way that lolcow rejects can work is if you have these crazy people on there, but then they're always running into TOS problems or saying things that get documentaries made.
And then I would become disconnected because you weren't allowed to meet anybody on the line that I was calling. No phone numbers, no last names, nothing. And so you
So a
would,
monitor would cut you out.
right, and you would
That was
try
that
to...
ebony person.
I'd
I
be a
was talking
terrible
to.
host.
Yeah, but see,
It would just be a
where I come
vibe
from, they
show.
call them Ricks and Lucy's. All
Locale
the guys are Ricks,
vibes.
all the ladies are Lucy's.
The monitors.
Right.
So they listen in on your conversation.
Right, but you know, you try to figure out ways to get around, you know, license plates that represent phone numbers, you know, prices of things that represent phone numbers. You know, there's a lot of ways that they
Why do you
develop.
figure you became addicted? Are you a lonely person?
No, I wasn't at all. I became a lonely person because of the line, because I lost all my friends. All the friends that I had, I ended up leaving and abandoning to fall into this group of people that called.
But why, Tony? I mean, if you understand what you were doing, why didn't you just stop calling?
It's hard to say. It really is. I
Never
found
wants
out
to talk to
later,
King
and
again.
it took a lot for me to understand exactly what was going on. I talked to these people, and after talking to so many of them,
I was going to say let King have a turn, but then I remembered he had a turn before and he showed a bunch of hyper violent. Hey, maybe the new rules would allow a King TL style show.
you start to develop an emotional dependency with them. You know, you feel bad for
Oh,
them.
maybe self-harm doesn't. I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
You want to help them,
We should do a stream and just deep dive the new policy.
as well as having them help you with certain problems. And you feel a lot of the people that you talk to, I've had people that actually claim to go suicidal if they wouldn't talk to you again. My phone, by the time that
Hey,
I was
media
coming
hits.
to the end of my calling, my phone would ring 24 hours a day, non-stop.
Wow.
Okay, I had call waiting. I would go from one call to the next. Hello? Okay, just a minute. I'd go back to the other line. I got to go. I had another call. Constantly.
Aside from your phone bill, what was the effect of all that?
King
that
TL is
manic
like the
calling
psycho
on the rest
Sid
your
of
life?
this universe. When it's softball season, he can't
it
be
was,
around.
It
Only his
wasn't
is
so bad with
concrete
the
season.
calling. It was when I started to meet the people that things started.
They should join the girls trip in South Carolina. I mean, isn't it inevitable? What's all everyone's against each other until this trip comes up, and now everybody all of a sudden everybody's cool again. What other? I mean, I don't know. What else reason could there be? You think the Thorpes are paying Ruby, and that's why she kind of keeps putting up this resistant. You know what I mean? Like, obviously she's open to it, or she wouldn't have him on her show. But and talk and have conversations with Ben and stuff. But do you think that they're paying Ruby for this collaboration, and that's why she's going along with it? But then every step she's kind of like, "This isn't a collaboration. This isn't a collaboration."
Started to get bad. For just as much good there's probably twice as much bad. Just like he said, he was shot at. He was beat up.
He'll
at one
tell his
time.
story.
Shot at.
Okay. Well, my apartment that I had lived in was trashed at one point.
How so?
Booted from the trip.
I threw a party for.
How does
for
that
people
hurt
from the line
D-Dog?
that I called.
That hurts them.
And
But you'd never seen these people before.
well, I had met them at other occasions.
They gotta bring the
okay,
heat this
but it was
trip,
at
'cause the last
public
one was
places,
kind of a
and they
letdown.
were scattered out, and I only invited a select few.
So you're on the party line. You say, "Hey, gang, come
No,
over to my
no.
place."
By this time, I had their home phone numbers.
Oh, I see.
But they would get on the party line, certain ones, and they would announce it, and I would have people show up that I
People
didn't
from the
even know.
party line
I
got
had
a
one
hold of this
gentleman,
guy and
I
gave
shouldn't
him
even
this
call him a
haircut.
gentleman. He walked into my house, walked into my bedroom, and kicked a hole in my wall that was about 3.5 feet high by 2 feet wide.
Very
And
light.
I went crazy. I said, what are you doing? Why did you do this to me?
This is what you would call a whisper mustache.
I was in shock. And he said, well, somebody did it to my house. You know,
How'd you get out of phoning? Do you
well,
go to
there-
Phone Callers Anonymous or something?
no, I wish there was. They need it. They do. There was 2 young ladies who helped me out of it. They got me involved with other things in my life, got me back to working and stuff like that.
And you met him over the phone.
Over the phone,
Were
yeah.
you one of the people that went to his apartment and helped trash it?
I didn't trash it, but
You were there.
I was there, yeah.
Oh
I
boy,
witnessed
Lester Aldous.
You say someone shot at you?
Somebody shot at me. It was a big misunderstanding. He thought
It sounds like it.
he thought I tried to get him arrested on rape charges, and
This was the
Wow.
person you met over the phone?
yes.
Well, save the rest of the story. Let's take our first commercial break, and then you can explain
Oh
how
my, what's wrong
rape
with
and
these
gunshots
people?
and all these things stem from telephone conversations, because it's a mystery to me. We'll be right back.
I get like saying out of pocket shit on the party line. Why are you, unless you're gonna clap it from the back, why are you meeting up with anybody from this party line? Like, I don't understand it. Like, It doesn't make sense to me.
Take Vaughn's
You have like
everyday
no
low
idea,
prices,
literally
more
no
buys,
idea who
and
they are.
unlimited double coupons, plus Vaughn's famous hot
That's an
weekly
easy way
specials,
to get like an angry
family-sized
husband
bold
coming
laundry
after you.
detergent, just $5.99. A 21-ounce can of Comet Cleanser, only 69 cents. And an 8-ounce jar
Really,
of
he does kind of
Folgers
look like a
instant
cure
coffee,
guy. His
just
eyes are kind of
$3.69.
weird.
And
Must
you'll
be a
see why Vaughn's
moderator
gives
for
you the
you know
lowest
who.
take total in town.
Nobody knows.
I want you to
but
show me
Vaughn.
how you
What a
dance.
great lingo.
The
or
best
logo.
American
What is
play
it?
of
Jingle,
the 80s
yeah.
raised Time magazine. Neil Simon's
It took me a
Broadway
few
Bound,
turns. Well, look at
made up
this.
of moments like the scene in Act 2 when a
This is how Grace used to dress sometimes. Remember, she wore like the long sleeve black shirt with the black
mother and
pants.
son begin to dance.
Looked like
The
a,
son
puppeteer.
awkward with delight, the mother suddenly
Facebook
miraculously
Marketplace.
young all
There
over
you go.
again. But the moment is not
Risk
here
your
on
life. I
television.
think I saw a
It only
meme one time and
happens
it said
when
like,
it's live.
my
It's
wife
the
is making
moment
me
when the
risk my
audience
life to
dances
sell our
to
old toaster.
Broadway Bound.
At the Armington Theater through July 3rd only. Call Teletron 213-410-1062.
Ah,
Coming
Manson
Monday on
Theater.
Geraldo.
From the Kentucky bus crash to the Illinois classroom shooting, healing children from tragedy on the next Geraldo.
Geraldo.
Well, certainly
Monday
they'll
at 4
solve
on
that
the one
problem
and only
over the next 30 years.
The California primary. On Monday, Channel 2
Oh,
Action
shit.
News will preview all the major
Ooh,
candidates
wow.
and the important issues. The primary preview, Monday at
Oh,
7:30
this is
on
cool.
Channel 2 Action News. Southern California's real news leader.
If you're an accident victim, you may need legal help.
Wasn't James?
I'm
Oh,
James
okay.
Gillen, an attorney
James
who has
R.
won millions of
Gillen.
dollars in awards for accident victims.
Jamie Gillis, I think,
If
was
you're
a
injured and are wondering, how are you going to
Golden
pay for
Era
your
porn
medical
star.
care, car expenses, and lost wages? Call now for a free consultation. Call and let me
James
help you.
R. Gillen.
For a free consultation, call
Know
James
your
Gillen
attorney.
827-2001 and receive a free brochure on how to protect your rights if you're an accident victim.
Party line horror stories are our focus. Lester, how did you get into party line calling?
How I got into party line. I was sitting at home one night.
Let me
like
just
him.
ask a question. Carlos, take a watch out of the audience.
I have to look for that
How
one,
many
Russell
of you-
Plunge. That sounds like a fun one.
Indicate by applause. Have heard or seen the advertisements for these parties?
Hey, Joe Shabatoni, this guy right here with the Ben Thorpe mustache, his mustache absorbed the mustache of the guy on stage.
Lines on TV. Let's. How many of you, again by applause, have
Is that time
been curious
traveling
enough to
Ben?
call one of the party lines? Stand up there. Why'd you do it?
Well, I'm actually.
Oh
from
my God,
Dial
what a
Communications,
callback. Remember when we had I had the theory that Ben was traveling through time so that he could watch Grace whenever they were apart?
which has one of the party lines.
You're a plant. Let me get it.
Oh, boy.
Now, who's a civilian here? Is call. Okay, here. Why?
Well, one night I was coming home from work, and the commercial looked fun, and I was with a bunch of friends, and we called, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. You just talk to other people. Like you said, you find out about
ATF Media,
people from different
ATF
towns
Media,
that you never
Big
heard
Booty
of,
Latina.
what's going on in the city, and then you all meet, and it's nice.
Did you meet the people on the telephone?
Yes, I did. I met a few. I met people.
Didn't you think that was dangerous?
Not in a public place. It's dangerous going to a bar and seeing the same strange people.
How did the faces match up with the voices?
Not all of them were the same, but, as good as they sounded, but that's any blind date is
They
the same
sat his
thing.
ass right
Figure it's
back
just a
down.
way to get a blind date.
Exactly. Well, you're hanging out with a bunch of people, whether you meet them in a bar.
How much did you spend on the calls?
I would say maybe $200 a month.
Oh my God, wow.
How many months?
Since I'd say the past 2 months.
So you like this as a social alternative?
Look at him, he's getting
It's
turned
nice.
on.
It's
expensive though.
It's expensive, but I feel that the people
You
that
know, I
can
host a
afford
television
it stay
show.
on
I
at
could
least the
easily
line that I call.
afford $200 a month.
Well, the
for a
rich
phone
line.
call
Right.
addiction.
All right, the agent.
Now, Lester, you called the poor line, huh?
Well, it's the cheapest one in Chicago. The one I usually call.
All right, how'd you go from that lady's relatively normal involvement to what became an obsession?
I would call when I first started about maybe once a day for about half an hour a day. Then after that, I started hearing about parties and all the good times that people were having. And I said, hey, I could be doing this too. And so I started calling more, find out about more.
See, this is a topic that you could do now. But I guess, I don't know, because people don't understand anymore what trolling is. They don't understand trolls are supposed to enhance the content. Like, if they did an episode and they, like, brought out, like, Phil's big, Dark Side Phil's big donator, and, you know, people are like, well, you're addicted to, because, I mean, that's basically the same thing here. You're paying for, like, a fake relationship. You're just paying other, it's just two regular people that are paying, like, a company, basically, to, like, it's just making both sides into pay pigs. But it would be fun to see, like, a panel talking to a candid panel about pay pigs. But I feel like there'd just be, like, people would try to go, like, way too far with it and would, like, ruin the content.
Parties and what have you. Going to parties every weekend, 3 days a week, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Monthly habit.
Didn't matter. Morning, night. And then it just turned into a nightmare after that.
How? Specifically?
Well, one case in point was, I knew a guy, Bob. He was calling the line. I had never met him. Rumors were going on the line that he had raped a 13-year-old girl.
This sounds exactly, this is just Discord drama,
people told
right?
him I did. He was having a party.
These people are paying for Discord.
I had ever met him. And he came up to me and said, well, I'm going to kill you for saying things like that. And I said, Bob, I had no part in this whatsoever. And so,
would people gossip about this guy on the line?
The one thing, that girl was a caller on the line as well.
Yeah.
The girl
Bring back party lines.
Supposedly.
Maybe it'll free up
the person had allegedly
YouTube.
raped a 13-year-old girl?
Right, and her parents were the ones pressing charges against him.
Yeah, but he told me to get out of his house. I was walking down the street.
This is what's happening to
He comes out
Spicoli
of his
right
house
now.
with a
He's going
gun,
through this.
Shoots off one round at me. I said, hey, what's going on here, man? I guess he was drunk. I don't know what was wrong with him. Maybe on drugs. I don't know. But it all turned into a nightmare.
Hey, Jeremy.
I don't know, $6,100 phone bills. And I mean, I still call. That's funny about it. I don't know why. I can't say why. It's very addicting. It's like cocaine or alcohol. That's how I see it.
I think it'd be easier, honestly, to quit smoking than to quit calling the line.
I think so. I really do.
Were you a lonely person?
Was I a lonely person? I think so. I think that might have been part of why I first started calling.
You spend $6,100 a month just to socialize, which I guess if you got the money and you can't socialize otherwise, it'd be worth it.
Many
But
different kinds of people, it's all started to click in, and now it's like.
How'd you run up a $6,100 phone bill?
Being on the phone 20 hours a day.
What's the rate a minute?
What do they call that? What do they call it? Like
8 cents for each additional.
What do they call it? Heterochromia or something like that? Where your eyes are two different colors.
That I was on the phone with.
Or is that from getting hit with a blackjack by some lady's husband that he met on the party line?
Yes.
How much is your
What's
line?
6,100 adjusted for inflation? 1.6 million.
Now, would any of you like to comment on
And that's
the horror
that's a
stories
month,
we've heard from
Joe.
Tony and Lester here?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is that Geraldo on the phone?
Yeah, Revolvo's on the phone, right. I think you're on the party line because you don't know how to spell, but go ahead.
Revolvo.
I'm here.
It's like a He-Man character.
Hello, hello, you're on television. What's your comment on these horror stories?
We gotta cut this noise down.
3.
Barbara?
2.
Barbara.
All right. Have fun, kids. Have fun. Yeah, they want to talk about themselves. Well, we'll bring them back. We'll bring them back later. Maybe we can sort out something. Whose phone was it? Yours or your parents?
My mom's. It was her phone.
It was more
Oh, no. He's calling on his mom's phone on top of everything else.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
Houses and so forth.
You're a teenager?
Yeah, 18.
And when did you start? How old were you?
17. Last year.
And you're in your parents' house. You picked it up. Now, didn't your mom say to you, "Hey, Lester, my boy"?
It was more of
you're heating up my bills a little too much.
It was more of after we got the first bill for $1,300. She said, "Okay, we're not going to pay this." She goes, "If you want to pay it, go out, get a job, and pay it." But she said, "If it gets disconnected,
I'm not going to pay it."
So I said, "Hey, she's not going to yell at me for using it." So I ran up a $6,100 phone bill on it.
OG savvy guy.
Because your mother said she wasn't going to pay it. If
Thanks
you
for
wanted to
joining
pay
me
it,
on the
you said,
party
"Hey,
line for this presentation. What I thought would be a good topic today is
sued right now.
my mother
by
told
the phone
me.
company for $4,800 because I didn't pay it. And
Did you ever pay the phone bill?
I paid the first $1,300 of it. Yeah, the first bill.
Did you ever feel that you were responsible? I mean, you are 18 now. That you were responsible to pay that?
I thought this guy was in his 30s.
I felt as though, well, if it's going to get disconnected, it's going to get disconnected. Let me run up the bill. You know, who cares?
Who's the one being sued now? You or your parents?
My mother.
And you're not taking any? Are you helping her out with any of this, like, legal things?
Well, when it comes
Concern
down
troll.
to a
Who's
suit
taking
or a
care of your
court
mother?
case,
Oh, I'm worried about her.
I'm the
I'm
one
a
that
person in
called,
the
so I'm the
audience.
one
I
gonna be held
care.
responsible.
Still calling.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Lester's got a couple of problems.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, we're going to take a break. We're going to bring out some spokesmen for these dial-it services. We're going to bring out one of the monitors.
She's worried
people
about the
monitor,
guy's mom.
And someone who says they may have a solution to prevent horror stories like Tony and Lester. Let's take this break.
For the special
Oh,
occasions
look at
in
this.
your life and the everyday ones, Baskin-Robbins will make a very special ice cream cake just for you.
Look at all these
Baskin-Robbins,
cakes.
the heart of any
Remember when
celebration.
Vegan Patriot sat on the cake? Oh my god. I think I only have a still image, but I'm sure there's a video out there.
Northern bathroom tissue has a special kind of softness because it's
I was
quilted,
watching
and you
InfoWars
can feel the difference quilting makes.
whenever she sat on the
No other.
cake.
Quilted for a special kind of softness.
This is the perfect second camera, Fuji Quick Snap. Quick Snap comes preloaded with 35mm Fuji Super HR films. I take Quick Snap everywhere I wouldn't take my expensive camera, like the beach. Hey, kids! After 24 pictures, I take the whole thing to where I have pictures made. Then I buy another Quick Snap and take it hiking. Then I
South
buy
to West,
another
would
Quick
you eat
Snap
the
and take
cake
it
that
boating.
Vegan Patriot sat on or no?
Fuji Quick Snap. The
She
perfect
said she
second
only
camera
ate the
and
parts
bird and
around
board and fish.
where the cheeks imprinted. Ice cream cake? Yeah, I like ice cream cake. How's it going, Night Sugar?
Post Office Box 684, New York, New York, 10108. Please send a self-addressed stamped envelope or call 212-265-1283.
You know, for years, you've been hearing that here at Public Insurance, it's no problem. But that's not just a slogan. They really mean it. And if you've had trouble getting insurance because of tickets, an accident, or no prior insurance, it's no problem. If
does
you'd
that
like to
say?
charge your down
Public?
payment, it's no problem. And if spreading your
Oh,
payments over
insurance.
12 months would make life
Duh.
easier, it's no problem. Call now for a quote at 1-800-345-1995, any day till 9 p.m. At Public Insurance, it really is no problem.
There's something wrong with Steve.
Okay, but South to West, what if Elizabeth Taylor sat on the cake? Certainly then, right? Oh, Steve. Oh, Steve.
If your son or daughter has a problem with drugs or alcohol, don't wait for it to go away. It won't. At Charter, we understand, and we can help. Call Charter Hospitals at 1-800-262-9389.
There's a war going on out there on our streets. Death and human destruction. Drug
my
abuse
God.
and gang violence, beating
Wow,
on
what
one
a
another.
commercial.
Law enforcement is
Holy
the first line of
shit.
defense, and law
Man,
enforcement
good thing you don't
needs
see anything
support.
like this on the news
When we needed
anymore.
more personnel for our gang and drug units, Supervisor
Bill
Antonovich
Gates.
responded. We'll win that war, but we can't do it alone. We've always had the full support of Mike Antonovich. We count on Mike. He's tough.
Re-elect Mike Antonovich.
Keep him on the job.
Shasta. I want to pop. Nice. Who are these people? Is that his mom?
Okay, we're back. Party line horror stories. Come on, stand. Now, do you remember the old party lines?
I certainly do.
Tell me
Oh,
how it
boy.
worked.
Okay, we had a telephone and we had 4 people on the line, and maybe even 5 or 6, according to how much you would pay.
Wow.
And we lived in a little tiny town in Tinton Falls, New Jersey. And we were all new there, and there was a lot of hanky-panky going on. And all you had to do was just play paint and pick up the telephone. And so after a while, it all ended because there were no more party lines.
All right, you miss them?
I didn't use it so much. I listened.
Oh, wow.
That's the G-rated party line. Now, have you
Voyeur.
called these?
Yes, I did.
Now, why?
Well, I was home one night. I had come home and I had a couple of drinks, and it seemed like the thing to do. And on television, first I was listening to the radio, and on one of the radio stations, they were describing one of them, and I said, well, let me try it. And I tried that, and that was the soul party
You
line.
like that
and
lady?
then I tried another one, which seemed to be a different type of party line, and
I like her
it
hair.
was fun. I had a good time, except the bill wasn't too much fun afterward.
How much was the bill?
It was only one day that I was on for about 3 or 4 hours.
I just want to
and
turn it
came out
to
over
into
$200.
like a
For a day.
lighter
Yeah, you
brown,
should have gone
and then
out to
put
Le Cirque, a great
Grace's
restaurant.
face in.
How about you? How many times?
About 3.
And why'd you do it?
Because I was home with my sister, and we were bored, so we just picked up the phone. We heard the number on the radio.
Can I ask how old you are?
Somebody needs to be honest and just say, look, Geraldo, I needed to goon, and just be honest.
18.
And were you 18 when you called?
Yes.
And what'd your mama say?
We didn't get the bill yet.
Your hair looks like that
Oh,
lady's
she's
hair.
not watching.
Well,
have you done it?
Yeah, once I called. I was at
What?
I was at work and I had nothing better to do. My boss.
hey, Paro, how do you feel about the fact that Lol Cow Rejects has completely fallen apart since you left?
Was away, so I called.
I wonder if he's away now. But which one? Did it have a specialty, or who'd you speak with?
There weren't
Listen,
too many people on
Geraldo,
the
I
phone.
called
There was
that
just one
number
guy
because I
saying
had to
hello,
get $6,100
hello.
worth of nuts.
I was just listening,
pal.
you know, to him saying hello.
That sounds exciting. Yeah. You have a phone bill on you, Tony?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Hurricane Paro is the R-truth of this universe.
Wait.
You can't fire someone, a legend,
There
over,
we go.
you know, corporate
That's one.
concerns.
That's one. Now.
Oh, isn't this fun? Here we are. Take a look. You see this?
They probably, too, I bet Media Hits, like, talked about shit that they would never talk to, like, a boyfriend about, since it was, you know, the explore the outer fringes. Like, I don't know, if in a normal situation, like, that wasn't being streamed, I don't know that Grace would bring up, like, her DP fixation, but, like, she talks about it all the time, like, with Chat and Ben.
It's an amazing situation. Now, what's the bottom line? Or does
That's
it have one?
that one I think's 1,100.
Oh, terrific. Did you pay your bill?
Some of it. I'm still working on it.
Do you work? Do you have a job?
Yeah. I'm
Wait,
an EMT
Hurricane
for
Paro has a GoFundMe? What?
So you,
For what?
You work hard to pay for this. Your habit.
Like a serious
No,
life
not
thing, or is
anymore.
it like a stream
Let's
thing?
meet Laurel Rose. She's a monitor trainer for National Infotel. That's located in Florida. Now, she has worked as a monitor. You know, that's one of the people who directs the party lines. And now she trains other monitors. The people who listen to the conversations, they set the guidelines for the discussion, and they can switch callers from one group to another. Leslie Shower from Lincoln, Nebraska, has formed a group called Parents Against Phone Theft. She feels that
man, here we
there
go.
ought to be a way to restrict these lines from coming into a house if parents don't want the risk of their children like Lester, and he is, you know, he may be 18, but he certainly has acted like a kid and run up an incredibly
Heaven forbid a grown
large
adult use a
bill.
telephone.
Now, Laurel, as a monitor, how come you didn't...
Why don't you go up
or
on
the
stage
monitors
and
in
wipe
Lester's
his
case
ass
didn't
for him,
spot that
Geraldo?
he was a kid out of control?
I can't speak for anybody else.
How do you do it?
What I do, we go through a relatively deep screening process from what I understand. We have applicants who come in, we look for people with customer service experience, telemarketing experience, responsible people. They go through a training process. It can last anywhere from a week to 3 weeks, where they're monitored by a supervisor or me or both. We give them guidelines to follow, standard type of questions to ask, when to disconnect a caller, when to try to steer the conversation away from certain subjects.
Leslie, you buy that? Are they that well trained, these monitors? If so, how come the horror stories? Didn't you have a horror story in your family?
Yes.
What happened?
I started all of this because of my brother. And he started out normal,
Laurel,
like
Leslie
the other people
Shower.
said, like $100 or $200 a month. And then it got worse, and it got worse, and it got worse, and it ended up the most recent bill was $941, and then the next bill was $1,125, and everybody says, well, what did your parents do to the kid? And everybody says, people who don't know about the abuse say,
That's
well,
not what
you
I'm
know,
thinking.
You ground the kid. You
I'm thinking, why is this parent not monitoring their child? Especially if you're a Karen like this. If you're going to be a Karen, you'd better like have your kid on lock.
punish the kid and stop it. You take the phone out of his room, but that does not stop.
I
the
agree with
abuse.
that. She
It's
kind of
much
does have a
more
patchouli-esque
complicated than
vibe.
that.
Lester, would it have stopped you if your parents just took your phone away?
I used to sit at home at nights and work on telephones just to get them in working order.
Please do not
so I
use
could,
phones
because my mom used to take the phone to work with
for
her.
any purpose
And,
other than serious
so I used to
conversations.
stay up all night trying to fix old phones just to call the line.
Just, you know, it really does remind me of a junkie trying to get enough dope to shoot up. I mean, it really just frantically, you know, going through the glassine envelopes to find enough little scraps of dope.
You know
to
what the
shoot
best
up. I mean,
revenge is, though, Hurricane Paro? Is
What
getting in
about
there, showing
her
King
claim? What about
TL
Laurel's claim
and D-Dog
that
how it's done,
the monitors
and
are
in a
so
few
well
months,
trained that they can spot a kid
start
out of
cashing those big
I'd like
checks.
to know where they are, because I've never heard of a monitor, and if they are monitors, they must be teenagers or people who sound young so they can get in on the conversation. But none of the calls that my brother or any of other people who've talked to me have ever said, if there was a monitor, they would have cut the kid off, you know, after a couple hours.
This lady called the phone line. She ran up a bunch of money because she's lonely, she's desperate, she's worn down from these taking care of these kids. Her husband is a, you know, cast off. She ran this bill up, and then she had to make up an excuse so that her husband didn't flip out. So now she's on like this crusade when it's really just she was, you know, rubbing one in on the party line and doesn't want to admit it.
I've got parents who said their kids were on the phone like 9 hours straight. If there's a monitor, they would have heard.
How is a child on a phone for 9 hours straight?
This kid talking so long.
9 hours straight.
Yeah.
From 20 cents to 95 cents a minute. 9 hours.
That's what she says
straight.
it was her
There's
brother.
somebody right now in Chicago calling the line that we call. That he's known as Marathon Man, and he's going for a week straight. And they're all behind him. All the moderators, they're, hey,
Now,
do
you're
it.
talking about kids here that are on these phones for hours. Where are
This is crazy. This is just an entire episode about Discord drama, but it's phone drama. The moderators are getting involved and creating little like cliques and little groups.
the parents?
At
When
work.
these kids at work for 9 hours?
Where was your mom when your
Well, put the phone up on a shelf or something.
brother was doing this?
My brother would stay up and wait till that lady would pass out and go to sleep. I mean, she would sit there and she would stay up trying to outstay him. She would stay up hoping he'd fall asleep so she could go to sleep, and she'd still get up at 5 o'clock and go to work in the morning. She'd take her phone with. His friends would bring phones in. She'd take the phones out. They'd bring phones over. I mean,
So
when they spent the
even know
night,
what
he
to
had no
say to
phone in his
this.
room. They were hiding phones in their duffel bags and bringing them in and
Hiding
everything.
phones
and
in
she's
duffel
supposed to
bags.
ask a 16-year-old kid, can I look through your duffel bag, you know.
Imagine searching kids for telephones. This is really incredible. We'll be right back.
I rest this issue on the parent, just like I did on the other phone thing.
I'm Jose Sanders. Coming up on Action News at 5:30, President Reagan and the First Lady return home to a hero's welcome. The president said he made real progress during his trip to Moscow and will always remember the Russian people. Plus, our politics
I'll
keeping
never forget
life-saving
them. I'll
drugs
never
from
forget
dying
those
age
Russian
patients. 511 will have details. And lotto-frenzied bills, and people rush for a chance to win tomorrow's record $40 million jackpot. We'll have those stories. Mac with the weekend forecast. Jim Lampley with all the sports coming
Well,
up
okay.
at 5:30.
I would also have more sympathy for this woman if she was saying like anything other than like, hey, there's no accountability whatsoever on our end. It's 100% the fault of these people that we're doing this. And she wants to take it away from other people, right? She wants to because her family is a bunch of degenerates. She wants to take something that's been a positive for many. You saw the people in the audience used it and didn't get addicted and all that shit. So they want to take it away from them because she doesn't want to have to, or her brother doesn't want to have to be a parent. Come on.
On Action News after.
This man has agreed to demonstrate how refreshing Irish Spring is.
Oh, there's something about Irish Spring. Oh, yes, it makes me want to sing.
That's what really upsets me about it. Is it instead of just making hard parenting decisions or whatever, taking accountability, like it's just like, oh, well, because I can't handle this, we got to take it away from everybody.
For my skin. The lather makes me feel like a king and a bar.
If this much refreshment sounds good to you, try Irish Spring and bring more shower to your shower.
Remember that lady in the body cam video yesterday? She's like, you don't talk bad about the Irish.
Sale at Bullock's, right? No sale. C&R. No sale.
Well,
must have cost a bundle. Well, not really. C&R's everyday prices are usually lower than department store sale prices. And C&R never charges for
maybe Ben would have a take
normal alterations. Not even on sale items.
Unlike Bullock's.
on what to do with a kid like that.
C&R. That's all it costs.
Nice suit.
C&R Clothiers.
No one will ever know you bought your shoes at an expensive store unless you go out of your way to show them. Wouldn't it be better to buy them for less at Standard Shoes? These open-toed espadrilles are $21.95 at Nordstrom. That's 33% more than the ones from Standard Shoes. And the canvas espadrilles from Nordstrom
Her
are
brother
a
was a
whopping
problem making the
51%
calls.
more than the ones from Standard Shoes. Pretty expensive shoe boxes, huh? Standard Shoes. The competition made us do it.
What was she doing?
More people buy furniture at Levitt's than any other furniture store in the world.
Oh, wow, look at that, guys.
Furniture at Levitt's than any
Look.
other furniture store in the
Oh,
world.
look at that, like Jaguar.
Furniture at Levitt's
I gotta see it one
than
more
any
time,
other
sorry.
furniture store in the world.
Wow.
Let's ask why.
One store was going to make us wait 2 months for delivery. Levitt's is going to deliver next week.
Levitt says the best prices.
I don't know,
It's
Media
that
Hits.
simple.
For example, only $399 buys your choice of 3 beautiful Stratford sofas during Levitt's big home sales. Only $399 now at the...
It's hard to tell because I think Geraldo, like, as we would know him later, had some different viewpoints, so I'm not really sure.
Levitt's near you.
You'll love it at Levitt's.
Remember when we watched him box Frank Stallone? That was so hype.
If you have a pool or jacuzzi in your yard, put
Listen
a
to
fence
this
around
Italian
it.
horror
And
movie
even if your
music.
child can swim, learn to perform CPR.
Dario
Jesse?
Argento presents
Jesse?
Profondo Pulo.
Jesse!
Save a child's life.
What do you think, guys? What do you think? Time traveling Ben Thorpe? I mean, oh my gosh, I don't know. Is this Craig here? Wow, what a Ben doppelganger.
Yeah, Tony, I just want to know what the seduction is of this phone line business. What draws you to spend so much money?
It's somewhat like what he was saying
Next
earlier
week
as far
delivery.
as a cocaine addiction. As far as it's concerned here, I would look at it more as an emotional addiction that you'd have.
Does it all come back around to a sexual conversation, though?
It
That's
could.
a good point. Is it all basically sexual? When
Not
all
the
is said and
time.
done, cut away the bull now.
All right, so my nickname...
Is this a lonely
Let me
heart
tell you, my
deal?
nickname that I was given was Paramore, okay?
Oh
And that's
boy,
French.
Paramore.
Sure you didn't choose this yourself now?
No, I didn't at all. And what it means is an illicit lover. And I'll tell you, it can very much turn into that. There's a lot of lonely people, a lot of single people, and there's also a lot of married people that are lonely that call these lines.
Yeah, hey, Tony, I got a question. I want to
What
ask you
about
something.
As far as what respect? As far as it leading into relationship?
About really
Oh,
the
man,
fact
this
that it
guy.
was really lust that you were afraid to express in real life. There
Wow.
was some
No, because
latent
as
sexual-
far as it was a new experience, as far as anything sexually or anything, it was a blind.
Getting
date,
off on
something
this?
different. No, not like that. Not phone off the phone, like phone sex or anything like that. No.
Yeah, excitement is sure. Jim Nusis is the vice president of marketing for Media 4. His company leases lines and
Oh
bills
boy, so
customers
that guy looks like
through
a
their local
bad guy
phone
in the
companies.
RoboCop franchise.
Robert Kentner is vice president of Kenter, sorry. Robert
Oh,
Kentner
this
is
guy's
vice president
great,
of advertising
man.
for Tempest 976. His company does advertising for companies that operate these lines, Robert Kentner and Jim Nusis. Now, Jim, very distressing stories. I mean, you may get a giggle out of them, you know, once or twice, but this is pure pathos here. This is pathetic.
Pure pathos.
What is your
Pathetic.
company doing? Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Do you take any responsibility
Paramore?
for these abuses? For the pain and suffering and financial setback that Lester's mother is suffering right now?
Well, we're sorry to hear that Lester's mother and Lester have been into the situation. We deal with these things on a individual case basis when they come to our attention. We do not advocate the use of minors on these services. The services that my company represents are a variety of services, not only the GAB services that Lester was involved in, but also some of the information services, sports line, horoscope line, that type of thing.
We're dealing with these
Man,
GAB
all these like
lines,
open
okay,
panels, but it's
these
over
gossipy,
phone calls. That's so cool.
Party line things now. What are you doing to
Do you think
stop
Flow
kids
State was
like
on these
Lester
back in the day?
from financially ruining their families?
We're doing a couple of different things. Our company has, since the first day that we've offered service, and we're in 4 markets right now, but since the first day that we offered service, we have the ability to block unauthorized use of those services. And we
But
do
how do you
block
do that? How can you tell
Well, we've
15-year-old from a 25-year-old?
Well, we've set up on some of the, I would assume that he's talking about one of the young adult lines, and we've set up some policies, internal policies, that when a bill reaches $100 on one of those young adult lines, we cut that telephone number off, and they cannot use that service for up to a 4-week period. At that time, the service is turned back on. For the adult GAB lines, we have set, for our services only, a limit of $300 for the adult GAB lines. So they can't use the service once it goes, our services, once it goes over $100.
Sarah
Leslie?
the Tomato.
What do you feel?
Well, as far as the adult lines, if they were truly adult lines, I wouldn't have complaints, and there wouldn't be all these complaints coming from parents of minor kids. But the commercials that I have seen are not orientated towards an adult.
Oh,
They're
man, I wish
oriented
I was
towards
in the crowd for
kids
this
and
one.
teenagers. I mean, they're rock and roll, and they got these guys all dressed up, you know, with punk hair, and they're saying, "Call me now. Why aren't you calling me right now?" And you know, there are show of teenagers sitting there screaming and yelling all this stuff.
Now, Robert, you're doing the advertising, aren't you?
We're doing the advertising.
Aren't you targeting those kids?
We're targeting anyone that's adult enough and responsible enough to use the service and not abuse it like anything else you'd abuse. For example, if you had a cocaine addiction, you would seek help. Why are you still calling the lines if you're getting these enormous phone bills? I mean, you're more than adult enough to not be able to do that.
got a
Just
point
simply
there.
stop. Well, first off, I'm not
Sarah the
calling
Tomato
any
stream
longer.
is nearly
Okay,
3 hours.
so I can't answer that.
Okay,
as
then
well.
the
The problem is now solved then.
Oh, hold it. Wait.
Too
easy. Lester, you answer.
Do you think it's like,
I don't think I have a reason for it.
do you think
It's just
part
like
of that is
a person who's addicted to cocaine, why they do it?
AdSense
Because
farming
it's there,
or no?
because they want to do it.
That's what
Don't you
people
have any
accuse Vegan of when she
yes,
does
we
her
do,
like
and
laying
we
in
take
bed
care of that
content.
responsibility. When we produce a television commercial, if you look at the end of the commercial, you'll see what's known as a disclaimer.
Oh.
The disclaimer tells you how much the call is going to cost you. It tells you that you need to be over 18 if that's the kind of
Lester,
line
did you ever
that
see
it
the
is.
disclaimer on the end of the ad?
No.
Even if you did, would it have changed your mind? Who did? No, you did. Did you stop calling? Hold it.
Thank you.
You like that disclaimer, though?
It's all right, but I never call because my mother would kill me if I called that party line. I think your parents have to be strict in order to, they have to instill responsibilities into you. Because if your mother was always strict with you, you will not be calling no party line. My mother would kill me.
I hope Ben asks a question.
Specific areas, or is it
We run out advertising.
He's like, excuse me, Geraldo, do you think that women should be allowed to sit in chairs?
After 10 o'clock in the evening, I'm sorry, Jim.
People, are they going to parties in their immediate area, or are they stay?
It's specifically up to the adult, whoever happens to be on the line. I will say that party lines are providing New Yorkers here and around the country with an opportunity to meet other adults.
Whoa,
to
I didn't know
qualify those
that.
adults,
She has a second
to
channel?
talk to them, to get to know them, to go out and have a cup of coffee, to
I
go
had
out
no
to a
idea.
movie, rather than meeting someone in a club.
Open
And
panels
it's a
are a
very
good way to
viable
farm,
entertainment source for these people.
ethically farm
I have a question.
AdSense.
Lester, if your mother saw the first phone bill and realized that there was this trouble, I know my mother, I'd be dead. I mean, like, I can't understand how she let it keep going, how they didn't turn the phones off.
But
Like,
he explained what lengths they went to. Leslie was explaining that kids were sneaking phones into that. They were hooked.
They should have taken the phones totally out and...
It's not that easy. It's not that easy. People that have had their phones disconnected
The
or,
Raging
turned
Gauntlet.
off have gone
Wow,
to
I'll
their
have to check that out.
workplaces and
Well,
called so
I'll follow.
extensively from work that
I'll
they've lost
subscribe.
their
I
job.
doubt I'll ever
This
watch
has
it.
happened repeatedly.
Just good to know in case somebody drops in on one of the panels that I want to see. In case Chaotic Truth shows up. The Raging Gauntlet.
It's nothing to be afraid of.
You have no fucking authority.
And it doesn't go that fast. And you only get a little wet. What do you say, big guy?
Bigfoot Rapids, now at Knott's. It's one hairy ride.
K-Big's playing all vocals
K-Big.
now. All vocals, that's what I call them.
Oh, wow.
Barbara Streisand, Lionel Richie, Kenny Rogers, all my favorite artists.
K-Big's a lot more fun to listen to at work now. They play songs I can
All right,
sing
I'm
along
listening.
with.
No hard
Not so
rock,
much
no
anymore.
elevator music.
Good to see Dale
K-Big plays
Earnhardt,
the
though.
songs I grew up with, and a lot of new ones too. Just the good stuff.
Move up to FM 104.3, the new KBIG. All pop vocals, all the time.
Of course we have good deals on automobiles. Be wise. Call Sunrise.
That's so
Dial
cool.
818-SUNRISE. This Tempo GL with automatic overdrive, air conditioning, power lock, tilt
Oh, man, this
wheel,
music.
stereo, and more. Only
$9,288.
Not a script car. Check our ad in the Herald Examiner for other good buys. Dial Sunrise.
Tax and
now.
license
For
not
great selection
included.
and affordable prices, be wise. Shop Sunrise.
Sunrise Park,
For 4 generations,
Kenny
the
Rogers
people of
album.
Waipahu, Hawaii have grown sugar cane for CNH. So when there's a special occasion, they
Hey,
all
Pat
gather
Tanaka,
young and old
his
to
whole family.
celebrate and enjoy the sweet rewards of over 80 years of
King's
working
Hawaiian?
and living together.
Is it going to be a King's Hawaiian commercial? God damn it. Get out of here with this.
Party line horror stories is our focus. Your question.
But Tony, now you say you stopped. You don't do this anymore.
No.
Now,
Not
did you?
like I used to. I
Not like
You
I
like
used to.
dabble in it. now.
I have
What, about
called it
5,000?
once or twice, you know. Maybe
Check in
a
with your
week.
old buddies?
Yeah.
Okay, now what made you do this? Did you seek help, or you just decided it was too much?
Help.
It couldn't have been the money. I mean, if you have an addiction, which it really is.
Oh, she said
Still,
seek
right. Did
help.
you seek any
I
help
thought
for
she
this?
said see
No, it
help,
was just
like the
it was
kelp
from
that are in the
sheer-
sea.
It was just that I couldn't call. I had no way of calling. See, by the time that it was over, I was living on the streets. I had been addicted.
Oh my
I had lost my
What?
jobs. I lost all my friends. I was living on the streets in 40-degree wind chill below zero.
Hey, Cody
How
Turbo.
gets chilly?
This question is for Mr. Newsist.
Right.
Obviously, there is a lot of money being made here. Very lucrative.
There's the
business.
A. Tony
How is this
guy.
money being?
That
what
guy's
is
dressed
being
like
done with
Joey
it?
Morella in the
And
background.
How are your employees being paid?
Let me. Wait, you want a job? Is it?
Got a great voice. you can do it.
Let me modify the question, if I may. I gotta take the moderator's privilege here. On a call, all right, let's say, what do you charge? 95 cents a minute?
Depends on the service.
Let's, argument's sake, say 95 cents a minute.
Sure.
How much of that do you pay to the telephone company?
Well, we have a contract with the telephone company to provide the billing for our services, and it varies by different telephone company, but it's a wide variety. It depends on how many, somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1 a bill, somewhere in that neighborhood.
What do you mean $1 a bill? What is that?
Well, $1 a bill. The telephone company bills us to render the billing for us. those calls are itemized on your,
Well,
for
so,
example,
what
here,
about,
your
how
New York
much did your
telephone bill.
company clear on Lester's
Is he
$6 grand?
basically saying
Well,
that, like,
that's where we get
the
into some of the
consumer is
differentiation
picking
between
up
different
the
services.
tab
I
on that
represent- my
regard, and
company's
they're
Media
just paying
Force. I
one
represent a
every
service,
time you get a monthly phone
company
bill?
that
If you
provides
called them,
service under
they
a
get the phone company gets $1
$900,999
of that
prefix,
money.
and only $900,999. Lester's referring to a different company, a local telephone company in his area that provides that service.
No.
Now, my service, the services that we provide are available to the general public. We do have the ability, as I stated earlier, to block those services, totally block them upon request. That is free of charge. We will do that for free.
I have a question for Laurel. She says these monitors,
I'm
after
listening.
someone abuses it and talks on it so long, they'll
I
cut
am
them off.
tuned in,
Why would they cut them
Jodie
off?
Foster.
That's how they make money.
It's not necessarily a case of watching and seeing how long they've been on. We don't encourage people to stay on any longer than they can afford to. If people want to hang up, if you hear somebody say, well, I really got to get going, we don't say, oh, no, don't go, don't go. We don't do that.
How do you get paid? Let's
Well,
go
at
back to
least-
her question.
At least with sightings, average phone call is 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So even if you're an outlier and you go 10 times that, that's 20 minutes, like 20 to 30 minutes, and then you're done. Like, sightings isn't set up really to call repeatedly for long lengths of time on repeat. Like, so at least they're kind of ethically gouging people.
Do you get paid on a commission
More
basis?
ethically,
No, you're
I
an
guess.
hourly. Straight hourly.
I wanted to ask Lester, you said earlier about the guy who shot you and whatnot. How hard is it to rid yourself of those people, of any connections that you've made?
Well, for him it was very easy because he moved out of state, but
Had to.
it's not very easy at all. Once they have your phone number and once they know your address and all this and that,
These people will track you down, literally.
they know you.
I have a
Yeah.
question for Leslie. You say your program
She
is
yells
in
at the
Chicago
phone
and
people. That's
Nebraska.
cool.
Have you considered taking it nationwide as far as an anonymous, like Alcoholics Anonymous, or?
Yes, I want.
I like
want
when to
mothers
hear
and
phone calls
fathers
of people
to
like when they get mad
talk
at the
to me, send me their
automated
bills, tell me
thing.
about
I
it,
like
and I'll
that.
talk to their kids. I'll tell them what to
Hey,
do.
Bob
Now,
Brown.
Jim says that his company has the ability to cut off access to these party lines at the request of the parents, I assume, right?
Well, we not only do it at the request of the parents, but we do it, as I stated earlier, at our own request. We set those those limits, and we cut them off when those limits are reached.
Now, Leslie, do you feel that that is an adequate safeguard, or do you have something else?
We want to feed this
That's just
addiction
him.
as much
That's
as
not
humanly
all the
possible
multitude of numbers that are out there. I mean,
without
he could be the one
crossing
good guy of the
certain
talk
red
lines.
lines.
There are so many talk lines out there that are not responsible enough to even suggest something
So
like
what
that.
do we do about them? What do we do about them?
Well,
It's like anything else. The
so
vast
because of all
majority
the
of people
problems that
that
I
use
have with
these
families
use them
and relatives, I've searched all
responsibly
over the
and
country and I
barely
found
use them,
one
just like on
manufacturer who
YouTube.
makes
There's hardly
control
like or
restrictor.
anything
And ever since I
really.
found
There's
them,
always
I
that
have been trying
small
to sell it
fraction
and
of
find
an
parents who
audience
need
that
it.
like
How do people
that like
find out
props
about
up the whole
toll
show.
restrictor?
I think
Through
that's
me,
the case
through
with these
distributors.
phone lines.
And I know there's one very large.
Is there one address we can give at the end of the program?
Yeah.
Okay, we will. So, parents, if you're concerned, get a pencil and a
However,
piece
when
of paper, and we'll give
you,
it to you.
when
at
you
the end.
block your line, you're not only blocking that party line, you're blocking your time and temperature that you might have been calling for 2 years to get that information. You're blocking your wake-up service. You're blocking that sports line that you might have been calling to get your sports scores.
No,
So that's...
not
There's
with my
other local
restrictor.
numbers you can call that aren't 900 numbers to get that information.
Yes, I have a question for Lester. Did, at the time when you started to call the party line, did they offer blocking?
No, blocking wasn't available at that time until just recently they started it in Chicago.
These people that take it so
We've even- I
seriously
know
in the
people who have
audience.
asked to have the blocking put on their phone. In fact, there was a mother and daughter who were had a $3,000
She's like, oh, they didn't
dollar
have
phone
blocking
bill.
available?
And the mother called the company begging them to block it
Begging.
off of her phone. And I know they had the service available because I know they had other people who had it, and they wouldn't do it because she paid her $3,000 phone bill. That's why they wouldn't do it.
I just have a question for Tony or Lester. Did any relationships ever surface from these $1,000 phone calls? I mean, was it worth it?
A few bad ones. But,
Well, not for me, though. I
That's
did
his
have one
accent.
very good
Well, I
one.
mean,
You missed
obviously.
someone,
it
and
is.
then you went and moved in with them on the street.
I noticed that too, though.
There are a lot of people
We'll be
who
right
get a
back.
lot out of it.
Oh man.
Velveeta versus butter.
All right, hang on, everybody. Here we go.
Velveeta was just made to melt. Velveeta versus cheddar. See how much more smoothly, more evenly Velveeta melts?
Velveeta versus a snowball.
Which melts better, more smoothly, more easily? Velveeta. Velveeta really cooks. Now, in each specially marked box of Velveeta, get 2 exciting stickers
Whoa,
from the new
Willow.
George
Remember
Lucas
that
movie,
movie?
Willow. But hurry, they're going fast. If you think cavities aren't part of your child's future, think again.
Think again.
Experts say he'll probably have 12 of them by age 19. That's why there's Extra Strength AIM, the first extra fluoride toothpaste. AIM, with the most fluoride, the only extra fluoride toothpaste accepted by the American Dental Association. The great taste of AIM and the most fluoride. That's the strength of Extra Strength AIM.
Yeah, Willow was a fun movie. I haven't seen it in forever.
$3 to Journal Graphics. Geraldo transcripts.
I need to, though, because I'm going back through all of the
10007. Or call
Balco movies
212-227.
slowly but surely.
Okay, In-N-Out uses fresh ground beef, so it's never frozen. Oh, you use real cheese, fresh slices of tomato, hand leaf lettuce, and every single In-N-Out burger is made to order, I suppose.
We'll get to see that play out.
Well, keep up
Well,
the
I mean,
good
we've
work.
seen it play out before, but we'll see how it plays out. How it plays out this time in real time.
In-N-Out, that's what a hamburger's all about.
Coming Monday on Geraldo.
From the Kentucky bus crash to the
Provo?
Illinois
What about
classroom
Provo
shooting,
on Lolcow
healing children
Rejects?
from tragedy on the next Geraldo.
Geraldo, Monday at 4 on the one and only 2. The California primary. On Monday, Channel 2 Action News will preview all the major candidates and the important issues. The primary
Michael
preview,
Dukakis,
Monday at
like,
7:30 on Channel 2
taking that
Action
stupid
News.
picture in the
Southern
tank was such a
California's real
disaster.
news leader.
Like, that's how
We built our law
politics
firm
used
on
to be. Just a picture of you that made you look like slightly goofy, or if you said something that was like made you look foolish, like just one thing could be enough to like completely derail an entire political career.
Is the benefit society, like protecting the environment,
Like
suing
Howard
those who
Dean
defraud the
screaming
government,
at that rally,
fighting
like
discrimination,
2
assisting the
seconds
homeless.
tanked his
We
entire
built Jacoby
political
Myers
career.
to
It's
help people
crazy
too,
to think
but
it
we
used
do
to
it in
be
a
like
different
that.
way. We help people one at a time. For example, a lot of people are going through a divorce, but we try to treat our clients as if they're the only ones who are.
If there's a fraud against the government, I'd like to hear about it. But most legal problems are divorces or bankruptcies, and that's what Jacoby and Myers does.
Gotta get away, gotta get away, gotta get away.
Ooh, Malaysia.
On a golden holiday. You can be pampered.
Passport bro content.
Be impressed. Be relaxed. Be different.
Yeah, Dan Quayle spelling potato.
Golden holiday. Gotta get away.
I met Dan
on a
Quayle one
golden
time.
holiday. See your travel agent or contact Malaysia Airlines.
There's time traveling Ben.
All right, I actually have 2 questions. One is for Lester. After getting like shot, all right, I actually have.
What do you think?
2 questions. One is for Lester. After getting like shot at, weren't you afraid to call back again?
Well, that was a one-time experience that happened.
Weren't you afraid something would happen, like again, like some kind, so you could get mixed up again and something could happen to you?
I guess I'll take that chance, though.
Okay. And my other question is, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's a common thing to get threats from people on the line. You know, life threats.
All right, my other question is, you're
Life
saying these
threats.
kids
That's
are
interesting.
calling.
Like
How old
threatening
are these kids that are calling?
that you'll have a long life.
For the mothers that I've got, their ages are from like 10 to 18.
The thing is, there are so many, like lines that I work on, we don't allow children on the line. It's the monitor's discretion. If they get somebody on the line who says, we say, you know, how old are you? 27? It's like, really? What year were you born? Even if they've got the answer right and the monitor thinks that they're young, they'll say, I'm sorry, I think you're too young to call this line. You'll have to hang
And
up.
then they tell them to call the other line, the one that's for
No, we
under
never
16.
recommend another line.
Okay.
Is there a line for under 16?
Yeah, there is.
In Chicago, there is.
Yeah, at least
Media Force Services have got, like I said, we have some
Robert,
young
do
adult
you advertise
lines.
any lines for under 16s?
Under 16?
Come on, fess up.
Sure.
Tempest Advertising will do everything possible to make sure that no one is fooled.
That wasn't the question.
I just want to make this statement.
That wasn't the question. You can make the
Within
statement
the
and answer the question
confines
first.
of the four walls of any household, the mother should be able to tell their child what to do if there's a problem. I don't think it's the problem of the information provider.
And now we'll go back to the question.
Okay.
Under 16 which was, do you
Discord
advertise
moderator.
for under 16 lines?
Yes.
I have a question for Jim. Jim, you had mentioned that your company sets a threshold of $300 for adult calling.
That's
but
correct.
isn't that an awful lot of money to expect someone to pay a bill? And the second part of that question is your company opposed?
So in other words, is a mechanic supposed to say, hey, listen, you know, even though you want all this stuff, you know, all this extraneous stuff on your car done, I'm only going to be able to do $50 of it because, gosh, man, that's a lot of money, dude. Even though I want to provide you this service and you want this service and you are someone who is of age and of sound mind to want that service, but I'm only going to sell you $50 worth of stuff because, gosh, man, that's a lot of money.
To blocking, which FCC is trying to regulate right now.
I
Is your
would
company
boo,
opposed
man.
to
I'd
doing
stand.
that?
I'd fire back on this guy if I
when we
was in the
set the
crowd.
limit,
I'd have to
we
stand
set it
up.
at $300 per month, and we have not had any
Oh my
complaints
gosh,
as
Bob
to
Brown.
the level of that and cutting that off.
Can this
The
300
second
be
part of the
compounded?
question. The second part of the question is
That awful
was,
song.
What's our policy on blocking? Media Force Services, since day one, and we started up in Chicago, since the first day we had service available, we have been able to block our services from every telephone in the Chicago area.
I gotta ask
we do
this
the
question.
same in New York.
I'm
we
bugged
do the
about
same
something.
wherever
I'm
we're
bugged
at.
about something. Now, Robert, you advertise for these under 16-year-old lines. I mean, do you ever get a twinge of conscience about that? I mean, you ever
Twinge
get
of
bothered about that?
conscience?
I'm in advertising. I'm not here to sell a conscience. I'm here to sell and deliver a product to anyone responsible enough to respond and
All
use
those
it.
responsible 14-year-olds.
Lay it down, brother. Lay it down.
I was very responsible under 16.
Tony.
And my parents...
I agree with him because I wish I was the one who would have
He should light him up and just, well, I think he was going to, of basically saying like, well, my parents raised me right, and that's why I don't have any issues.
thought of his idea so that I could have made the money that they're making right now.
Free enterprise.
I don't know much about Cars for Kids other than that song.
How many people's lives have been devastated because of this, though?
I've heard that
How
commercial.
many people have gotten jobs
No,
in these lines?
wait.
We have gotten people jobs. in
I
our
like
lines.
entrepreneurs. I want people to start business in this country. But when you start
Only
taking
ones
advantage
I
of
approve
the
of, though.
vulnerable teenagers, we've got weak minds.
That ain't a free market,
You're
sweetheart.
doing it wrong. You're taking advantage of teenagers. Teenagers aren't adults. They're not old enough to make decisions like that.
Tony, you said that you weren't such a lonely person before you started this. If you can become so attached to these people you don't even know, how do you become so detached to the people that you do know in everyday life?
It was because the people that I knew in everyday life were set in their lives. They had what they
People
needed.
that
they
he
could
knew
carry
in
on their
real
lives.
life,
People
he
that I met
had
off
to
these
behave
lines,
civilly to
although
keep them
some
as
of them
friends. The
were,
people on the
regular
party
workers,
line
some of
can
them didn't
shoot
have
at
their lives
each other
together.
and they
Each one
don't
of
care.
them, not
It's
each
less
one, but
work.
some of them seemed to need somebody, and I felt as though I could help provide
I think the question is, how are you so bad in your real life and so good in your phone relationships? I mean, how...
Well, I never said I was bad in my real life, though.
You lost all your friends, bro.
Question for Laurel. As a monitor, you hear a lot of people,
Shoulder
a lot of
pads.
conversations. Are they generally good, bad? What do you think?
As a rule, they're good. People have gotten, like I said, people have gotten jobs. We've gotten
The
contractors
spokesman
jobs.
for the company says that some people are getting married.
We have
soon.
people, yeah, we have people with men on the line
Also, a
who are
girl
getting
had a
married.
birthday and went on a hot air balloon ride.
Last Sunday, somebody got shot 5
Man,
times
he
in the
had-
back of the head from meeting somebody.
The disrespect shown to that guy.
Take a break. Take a break.
Yeah, that could happen walking down the street.
He is not going to let that guy. He must have an issue with him.
Take Vaughn's everyday low prices, more buys, and unlimited double coupons, plus Vaughn's famous hot weekly specials, like family-size bold laundry detergent, just $5.99.
For 147 ounces.
21-ounce can of Comet Cleanser, only 69 cents. And an 8-ounce jar of Folgers Instant Coffee, just $3.69. And you'll see why Vaughn's gives you the lowest take total in town.
Nobody else but Vaughn's.
When the developers threatened the beauty of San Diego, he stopped them. When Secretaries
Pally,
Watt and
quit
Hodel wanted
challenging the
more of our
beauty.
coastline for oil drilling, he fought them. When Washington tried to take away our coastal protection, Pete Wilson said no. And without Pete Wilson, there would be no 1.7 million acres of California wilderness and wild rivers preserved for our children. Senator Pete Wilson, making a difference for California.
Every furniture store in town claims low prices. So you look in the paper, and everybody's prices seem pretty much the same. Fact. There can only be one lowest price in town. And now RB Furniture guarantees that our prices will be the lowest, even lower than other stores' sale prices. And RB will sell you only quality furniture, made-to-order pieces, as well as name-brand tables, chairs, dressers, and bedding. RB, the right furniture.
Grand
the
reopening
lowest
is always a
prices.
good sign.
I told my brother-in-law use Aquachem chlorinizer.
Oh
He
my
says,
God.
Don't worry. Okay,
And those are guaranteed to sell out, Bob, because every influencer will want one to make a video with. Like, I don't even feel like a lot of products are really even made for people to buy and use. I think they're just like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not making products thinking like, oh, this is something that somebody might like. This is like something that's well made that somebody might enjoy. It's just like, what can we make that like we could sell a shit ton of in like a week period?
I say, but that granulated stuff like HTH or paste can leave an ugly ring. He says, don't worry. I say,
This guy's
use
in a ton of
Aquachem
movies. I can't
or
believe
you'll
he's in a
get
commercial.
residue. He says, don't worry.
Boy, look at this residue.
George, don't worry.
Arby's.
Aquachem chlorinizer. No calcium, no residue. It's pool care.
All the
pure and
furniture is
simple.
like burger shaped.
Tired of
or
counting the
roast
cracks
beef
on the
shaped.
sidewalk because you're out of work?
That could
Well,
get
count on
interesting.
this. At the Watt Skill Center, we'll show you how to get the
Watt
skills you
Skill
need to
Center.
get a good job. Anyone over 16 can enroll. You study at your own pace, on your own schedule, and classes are held year-round. You can even finish your high school education. The Watt Skill Center offers all this at a low fee of under $30.
Aladdin's lamp.
Enroll now. Call 213-564-4451.
Another VP
Get it together at the Watt Skill
synchronicity.
Center.
Synchronicity.
Okay, before we're out of time, I want to give you this address we promised. Here it is. It's Stop Phone Abuse, P.O. Box 5717, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68505. That's Leslie Shower's address there if you want to get involved in that. I want to quickly give I've been thinking about this, you know, and the phones are not cocaine. I mean, with all due respect to you guys, I know you wigged out, and parental responsibility really
We get
does
that on a
help lot
T-shirt,
here.
please. Phones are
And,
not cocaine.
You know, but regulation is also important. Jim, I'm going to give you 10 seconds for a closing statement.
Just want to point out the information providers that Media Force supports do not look for the minors to use these services. We do not look for that.
Oh
We
my
will block
God.
the services if it is requested. We do have the
Oh,
credit limit
listen.
blocking.
Phones are not
I want to say
cocaine.
to the parents out there who've got the bills, your kids are not doing this because they hate you. They love you, and they don't want to charge all these hundreds and thousands of dollars on you. They have got
It's
a problem.
because you're not paying
They got a
attention to
problem,
them.
and they need help.
Speak up and stand with them. Stand with your kids.
Okay, I want to thank you all. Party Line Phones, horror stories and other stories has been our focus.
I really
Thank
feel
you
like
very
these
much for
weren't
watching.
really
We'll see you
that
next
much of
time.
a horror story. All right, let's get things back on a back on an up mood now by going to the Donahue show. I don't know if they're live from the Mustang Ranch, but this episode is about the Mustang
The
Ranch.
mountains of western Nevada.
I'm sorry
We are
for the
just
audio,
north
by
of
the way,
Reno,
but
and we are at the place of the oldest and the most legal whorehouse in America. This is the Mustang Ranch.
You may have read that it went into receivership not long ago, but that only lasted a short time. They're back in business now.
As many as 30 women work in here, and this is
30
how it
women.
works. The customer approaches the gate,
Phone came.
rings the bell thusly. I assume this means I can open the door, yes. If I look a little tentative here, it's because this is not something I've done before. Hi, how are you?
Some of our ladies and our juices.
Oh, look at
And
this!
is
What a
how
what a
it would be
presentation!
for a customer who comes in here.
Right.
Did you see the Viking?
They haven't set this up for us?
Nope.
So these young women then, who are not busy, array themselves in the...
Let's take a look here. Interesting lineup. What do you think?
In the lobby of the ranch.
Right.
Very good. Now what transpires as the customer walks in?
The girl introduces themselves.
I see.
Hello, I'm Chanel. I'm Pam. I'm Sherry.
Jake. Polly. Erica. Paula.
Paul, very good.
Lady.
Well, do I have a moment, or...
Take you in much time as you like.
I see. So, after I pick
I think it smooths out. I fast forwarded, I think, to try to see if it would.
Do we retire to a couch somewhere to negotiate, or, I mean, a certain amount of business has to
You
be
do that in
transacted.
the room,
Right,
Phil.
that's all
Come on,
negotiated
bro.
in the room and discussed in the room.
We retire to the room before we
Right.
negotiate.
Right.
I see. All right, by prearrangement, I ask you to believe. Would you kindly step forward? You're Jane.
Oh, I don't know about that, buddy.
You've been working here for...
A while.
And you probably don't want to tell me how old you are. That's certainly not obliged.
Correct.
Correct.
Now, you reside here at the ranch, or
Yes,
most
I
of the
do.
women do. I see. And so for a certain fee to the owner, you have a domicile as well as a place to work, and they're all in the same location.
Correct.
I see.
Just like the
And
Thorpes,
then,
their
you would
domicile is
retire
where they
to
work.
the room for the purpose of determining the service and the fee.
Exactly.
I see. Now, in a moment, you're going to show me your room.
Exactly.
Okay. Let me just take a moment to talk to some of these young women before we retire for the evening. Why don't you step back there in your place, because I may want to talk to you, too. Well, it's a living. Is that how you want me to understand what you do, huh? You're not concerned about diseases or some geek coming in here and hurting you? Please talk to me about
Some
this, huh?
ape.
When you get in that
What do
room,
they
how
buy,
safe
the
is
Las
it?
Vegas Zoo or something?
Here, it's better than being out on the street and, not having any protection.
And how often does the doctor come?
Once a week.
And that's for chlamydia, gonorrhea, whole business, huh?
Ben Thorpe,
And there's
gigolo.
do you surrender blood every time he comes in?
Exactly.
And is there a regular AIDS test?
Yes.
There is. Now, I'm not going to pass judgment here. I just want your feelings on this. This is terrible what you do. It's immoral, and you gotta be ashamed. You don't want your daughters to do this. Come on.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. You're doing something, actually you're doing a service for men out there that
I think Phil needs to try the product if he's going to really do investigative reporting.
There's nothing to be ashamed of.
What if the guy's a little tipsy when he comes in?
We have our choice if we take them or not.
How about the ego when you're not chosen? That's got to hurt a little bit.
No.
Not any more than an actress who doesn't get the part.
We're not in
Huh?
Every man has their own specific taste. A guy could come in here and say, I want a blonde with, or the next guy might come in and say, I want a brunette,
I notice one young black woman among you. I assume you're not alone here. You're not.
When it comes to the Mustang Ranch, I don't care if she got a good character. I don't care if she a good person. If she has, if she has a good spirit. All I care about is blasting off, busting nuts.
I'll bet you when you were a teenager, huh? Huh?
Not quite, no.
Who said yes?
Yes, I have.
You had to feel awful that first time. Come on.
It's something I've always wanted to do.
Oh, come on. Who's the one that showered for 2 hours and used a whole bar of soap? Yeah.
They're like, she used a whole bar of soap, and everybody's like,
But after you get over that, I mean, here we practice safe sex. We use condoms for all sexual activities.
So, everything is safe, and I always advocate to my customers to use condoms outside of there.
I understand there is one thing you won't do, and I know what it is. Huh? You will not kiss a customer. Huh?
That's right.
What is it?
Bingo, babe.
What does that mean?
It means no, we won't.
Because
something personal that you do with.
a kiss is a loving expression of affection to a person you really care about.
Right, and this is not a loving, this is not, you don't just try to, I don't know.
Involved with kissing.
You don't know what's is in someone's mouth. You'd have to look.
I think it's too intimate.
The other activity isn't intimate, but kissing is.
Well, we can defocus. You have to be a strong-minded person to be able to do this.
All right. You save that for the person about whom you care.
Correct.
Right. Is how many of you are married? And he doesn't care? He'd rather you didn't.
Right.
But he's looking the other way.
Right.
I bet he doesn't.
Jedi Rich.
No.
Well, they're going to ask you, we have an audience here, and we're live in Reno as we appear today across the whole area of the desert here. and they're going to want to know what you make and all those other things, and you'll make your own judgments on what you want to answer. There's no constitutional obligation to answer anybody's
Constitutional obligation.
Jane, would you kindly escort me then to the place
Yes.
where you...
I think it's
Yes,
part of
thank
an upsell or a cope,
how many
one
rooms
or
about
the
in
other.
here, Jane?
About 48.
48, and business has been good?
Fair.
Oh, I see. So
Very fair.
it's been
Or
slow,
it's like
then, is what
having
you wanna
that
say.
little bit
No,
of
I
being
just
able to
don't wanna
retain
comment
that
on
little
it.
bit of control
So it's like,
over a situation that
any
maybe
business, sometimes good, sometimes
you're having to
not
be
so
out
good. Let
of
me
your
get-
preferred
No,
zone.
This is where you reside, and this
Yes, it is. Please have a seat.
Oh my
If
God,
we're going
imagine
to
being in here
negotiate.
with a
This is how you work,
macrame
huh? I see.
plant hanger.
Have a seat.
Uh-huh.
We will negotiate. And we have 1,000 different parties, 1,000 different prices, 1,000 different time limits.
Look at
so
Phil.
it all depends on what the client would like.
I see. Do I understand that some of the young women here who work here start at like $400 and then work down?
Phil's in there trying to get
well,
the
on
baseball
television, I will
special.
not discuss prices.
Okay.
I will discuss that privately but, with a client. But we do have price minimums and limits.
May we have the price limit? What's minimum? In other words, are you...
Well, it's like what type of party are you asking for?
I see. So
Like I said,
$400 is
there's
a little
1,000
misleading.
Just tell her
Not
you want a
everybody
half and
comes here has
half,
to spend
Phil.
$400.
Let's get this thing
Correct.
moving, bro.
I see. Very
We
well.
have other parties.
So it's a good life, and you're nice and healthy, and the doctor told you so, and you've got a paper to prove it.
Exactly.
Sick
Well, we'll be
tie.
back to let the citizens of this area who have various feelings about the Mustang Ranch, I say again, a legal brothel. All but 2 counties in Nevada allow whorehouses. And
Whorehouses?
with the license goes a certain amount of responsibility, and we'll talk about that as well. And then again, I say, not everybody in the state of Nevada is crazy about this idea. But we are
With
talking
great
about the
box
world's
comes
oldest
great
profession
responsibility
and
in
the
all
world's
but 2
oldest
counties in
controversy.
Nevada.
Should it or should it not be legalized? And we'll be back in just a moment.
Man, that music really hits after that depressing interview. Yo, what? I'm glad Vinny Slugga isn't seeing this
live
filth.
from the parlor of the Mustang Ranch in just outside of Reno. Joe Conforti joins us along with 3 of the young women who work here. Chanel joins us. Chanel, you're age 22. You started as a prostitute in
Velveeta
Minnesota.
cheese.
You say here before you were 18 years old. Your mother was a hooker, is that so?
That's correct.
Pam is also here. Says here, Pam, you got into this game real young when your boyfriend turned out to be a pimp. You'd rather be a prostitute than a maid, it says here, Pam. Is that so?
Yes.
Money's good?
Yes.
Erica is 25. Was married, but you ended your marriage when your
That's the
husband
one
turned
I'd
out to
pick.
be
Tall,
unfaithful.
blonde,
Do I have that
animal
right?
print.
That's correct.
I see. Did he know the work you were in?
Yeah. Yes, he did.
He might think you're unfaithful for doing this work.
Well, I think you should have understood it was business, and
I mean, I never just did it for fun. I did it for money.
Okay. Joe Montana, his real name. This will thrill the quarterback.
Joe Montana.
Joe, you frequent the ranch several times a week. You spend as much as $500 a week here, huh?
Yes, sir.
And Harry sits next to you. You likewise use the ranch services several times weekly.
Oh
All
my
right,
God.
here are the town folk.
There's the
We did not
customer.
give you a test before we let you in here about where your head is on this issue, but what do you think? Is this good for Story County here in
What a
Nevada? Is
cool
it,
location they're at. This is
bring a
awesome.
little tax revenue? Does it bother you?
I think it's good for business. I mean, I think it's good for the county. Joe Conforti is a very generous
The
man.
Grace Thorpe type for Gooner King, Mark Fusion. Yep.
I assume, of course, this is the first time you've ever been in a whorehouse. For most of you, I mean, yeah.
I'm a dissenter, but I'm here to help. I'm pray for the girls. I'm Reverend Bob, chaplain at the jail.
And I counsel with
The girls with the pimps and with the victims.
Well,
Well, we all have our ministry. Joe, you were in
Why is it funny? If you're a Christian, then you know that Jesus was like besties with a
The
prostitute.
brother of your attorney actually wound
up as the man who bought the place after it was placed in receivership. I think it's fair to say that the government
got some bad publicity here. It appeared as though the United States government was running this place.
They tried.
Yeah. And you want people to know that you don't just walk in and preside over a business like this. It takes years to learn, huh?
Yes, it's not just like any other business.
I pray for the
I
girls.
think that if they would have succeeded in starting it and running it, at least 80% of the money would have been stolen to begin with. And
Joe Conforte. I thought he said Joe Montana.
and many other problems, but they would take too long for me to explain them to you.
what do you say, Chanel, to those who suggest that
This is just not the kind of work that young women should be doing. Yeah, it's a bad thing to do. This is not a good job. You shouldn't do
Why
this.
isn't it a good job?
Oh, you should work at Burger King or something.
Well, this job
has been very good to me personally. I wouldn't, tell my younger
sister to do it because it is a hard life, but people that are already in it, I've met very nice people through prostitution, and it's led, helped me through
It's
school.
a great quote.
And,
Here you are, healthy and safe.
It's a different
a
guy.
roof over your head?
Hi.
There's two Joes? I thought the foreign guy was Joe
Prostitution is going to happen
Montana.
anyway, so it might as well happen here where we assume that
Oh,
you're
look at this
safer and better
outfit.
taken
Was she
care of.
working-
And I was wondering, did all of the ladies
She
start on
oversees
the
the
street, and
deployment
if you
of
did,
Bothan
how would you
spies.
compare your experiences there to here?
Want to talk about that, Tammy?
Well,
Go ahead.
I've worked on the streets before. Here, you're more, for one thing, you get checked by the doctor. You're more safer because, no one's not going to harm you here. And you don't have to worry about going to jail or getting a lot of cases or anything of that nature.
Yes, we're back here, friends.
Oh, yeah, Joe, I need some extra money.
Huh? They said his name was Joe
How about an 82-year-old woman
Conforte.
getting a job?
Joe, is there an age limit?
For her, I'll find a job doing something.
Uh-oh, he'll pay for that himself.
Joe, tell us what you say here. You
Oh my
visit the ranch
gosh. Guys, look at this guy in the back. What a find. I thought at first, from a certain angle, I thought he looked like Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey.
several times weekly. Is that right?
Young women, this is a familiar face, is he? Joe?
Yes.
Because you're not a married man?
No.
And you do this because?
Oh, they're both foreign. I see.
I like to come out here. The atmosphere is comfortable. The girls are safe.
I didn't know there
They're
were
pretty.
two Joes.
So,
I assume Harry'd say the same thing?
I put EFD 306 in the Tony Schiavone live chat today, but nobody reacted.
That's what Pam was saying. She feels safer. So do I as a customer. I feel completely safe coming here.
Joe, do I understand you'd like to bring this legal
He's
idea
married
to
to
California?
prostitutes from
Next
the
year.
ranch.
You're going to try and move the Citizens California to approve legalized prostitution?
I am very confident that it will pass.
Can you hear me, caller? Caller, can you hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, I would like to say I support Joe Conforti with everything that he's done for the poor at holidays
Joe
and the turkeys
Conforte.
and everything he's done.
What is it
Okay,
about
I
the
see
turkeys?
now the two Joes.
At
I
Christmas
understand.
time and at Thanksgiving, he gets thousands of turkeys and gives them out to the poor.
Oh,
And
thousands
he's
of
also
turkeys, guys.
going to provide free one-day gift certificate to the troops who return from the Persian Gulf.
Oh, wow, that's really smart.
Hi. I'd like to ask the young lady in the blue. You mentioned that education, that you had some education. Are your future plans to get into something that's, I don't want to say respectable, but you know that's more approved of by people?
Right, I'm doing continuing education as being a cosmetologist. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. cosmetologist.
I'll be right back.
And that's what I do.
I have a question for Mr. Conforti. I heard that there were maybe at one time going to be males here. Is that true? And if so, when?
We had planned to do that. The IRS put out a detour with all that's happened the last 6 months, but the idea is not forgotten.
And we'll be back in just a moment. Hi, is there a caller there? Go ahead. Are you there, caller?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, I'd just like to say that I think these girls are great. They look great. And if these women around here are so worried about their husbands going there, maybe they should try being better wives.
Right on.
I think there are good wives.
I'm curious to know how many, I don't know, runs do you do a night? I don't know what to call it. Tricks.
Well, first of all, I don't like calling a customer a trick because, number one, there's no trick to it. We negotiate the price, and he knows what he's getting for that price, so I don't, like the word trick. They're customers, they're clients, and that's not a good word to use for them.
Yes.
I don't think.
You want to say it?
Yes, there's a rumor, I live in Reno, that the taxi drivers get a kickback from bringing customers out. We know this is a tourist community, bringing customers out here. I was wondering if that's true. They get a kickback, and do
Yes,
the girls have to pay for it, or do you pay for it, Joe?
No, nobody pays for it.
But you're
The
saying
customer
Whose money
pays
does
for
it
it.
come
The
out?
customer pays for
I'm
it.
not sure they heard you, Joe. There is a kickback for the
Yes,
taxi.
but the customer pays for it. They get a small percentage, but a small percentage is added on to the customer, and that happens in every trade, not just in this one.
Yes.
Excuse me, I would like to direct this to Pam. I wanted to ask you, Pam, how do you have much of a social life outside of your job? And if you do, how does that person feel about your job itself?
Well, I do have a social life. Right now, I go to school. I work here. I go to school in between working here. And as far as partying and stuff, I really don't have time for that. I do have a friend that I see, but he doesn't live in this state. So when we see one another, it's like...
Taxi Driver is a sick movie.
Thank you for waiting, caller. Go ahead, caller.
I just want to say that what the girls are doing is their choice, and I think that it's a lot better that them be in a place like that they're taken care of
Chuck
financially
Norris.
and medically than some of the girls that you
Yeah,
see
people
out on
think
the street
OnlyFans and stuff
who
is
have
just
no
fucking and getting
protection
naked, but
and
like
no
it's
medical aid at all.
95%
So
marketing.
I commend the girls totally.
And have no misgiving about this in your state. We should
Look at the size of that guy down at the
Let
end,
me remind
man.
our viewers, Joe, you'll watch me on this now, make sure I get this right. All but two of Nevada's county, you'll watch me on. Should remind.
Hold on.
Misgiving about this in your.
Oh, whoa, do they have the people in ascending order of height? That's kind of, look at the size of this guy. Oh my Lord.
State. We should remind. Let me remind our viewers, Joe, you'll watch me on this now, make sure I get this right. All but two of Nevada's counties have legalized prostitution. All but five? All right, the five that included in the five that do not permit legalized prostitution are those counties in which are located the cities of Las Vegas, Reno, and Carson City. Yes.
I'd like to know, do your fathers and brothers know what business you're in? And if they do they approve?
They know now.
Do any of the girls who work here have any children?
Any kids?
Look at all these colorful
yes,
people.
I have a 21-month-old who I love very much.
Oh,
and
boy.
I'd like to wish him happy Valentine's
Womp,
Day, and also
womp.
to my significant other. He knows who he is. And,
it's-
yeah, a lot of us have regular lives and kids. That's why we're working here.
I wanted to ask the girls, how many days a week do you work?
7 days a week.
7? But you
Well,
get.
I'll be here for 2 weeks and I'll work that, 2 weeks straight and then go on vacation.
Are you there, caller? Let me try one again. We're getting go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, I think it's wonderful that they're out there. I mean,
Oh, wow,
they're out
Mike
there,
Ditka.
They'd be on the street with drugs and things, and now Joe takes very good care of all the girls. And why not Nevada? I mean, I think we take a stand by doing that, and everyone always criticizes us for having our whorehouses and our showgirls. And I think it's wonderful. I've lived here forever. And my father was a cab driver. It's great.
You got a losing proposition.
There's so many wackos running around that you say that you're safe here, but do they do a weapons search when customers come to the door?
Yes.
And they check for drugs and obvious drunks don't get in?
Yes, our rooms are monitored, so if anyone has drugs, we get them right out of the room.
Well,
And
definitely
that's not
forget it
gonna
now. I
hurt
won't be visiting the Mustang Ranch.
How do you interview for
Oh
jobs
my
here?
God, look at this awful outfit.
Well, first you call and they'll set up an appointment with you, and then you come in and you talk, you speak with the manager, and then they ask you a few questions like if you ever worked here before, if you've ever done this kind of work at all. And if they need you, I guess, you call back within a week. You have to go to the doctor and get checked. You have to make sure that all of your medical is taken care
It
of
is
before
lame.
you ever start here.
Hopefully they just say
I was wondering
that,
how you prevent yourself from getting emotionally involved.
but really
with
they
your
don't mind.
clients. You mentioned that you don't kiss them on the lips. What else
Some
do you
do, some don't.
Yeah.
A couple of them did with me.
A couple did with you, did they, Harry?
I married both of them.
You did.
He's like, I got to kiss two of them after
Let me
I
try
married
another
them.
caller here. Are you there? I'm glad you waited, caller. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, we've got probably one bad line here. Hey, let's try another line.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was wondering the
Oh yeah, I
percentage
think
that
I
the
knew
girls
that because
get
of the
and
Jedi.
You get, Joe.
Being
Well,
big
I don't get the
potheads.
house kids. They get 50%. And it's split half and half. But you have to keep this in mind. You might think
Beef,
that's a lot of money for
weed,
the house.
water.
But remember this, the payroll alone, not the girls, the auxiliary payroll. It's $1 million a year. Somebody has to pay that.
And do I understand you're one of the top 10 revenue producers for the county, in Story County?
No, I think we're the biggest producer. I think we cover about 10% of the general budget of the county. When you include the licensing, the real estate, and getting work cards, when you include everything, it's pretty close to 10% of the general budget of the county.
And I assume you think that this is an idea that will sooner or later arrive in other states as well.
Well, Phil, look, you can talk for hours and hours and years. Yeah. It really comes down to a very small bottom line. You cannot eliminate it. It's never been eliminated. So you don't have that choice. Which choice do you want it? Like this, or out in the street where there's drugs, epidemics, beatings, murders? That's the only choice you have.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if most of your customers are locals or out-of-towners.
50-50.
Half locals, half out of town. And you actually stand up when they walk in?
Every time.
Yeah. That doesn't make you feel a little bit self-conscious?
No, we get used to it. The first few days I started working, which was years ago, I was very embarrassed to walk around. But I went to a club the other night, and I thought, college girls at clubs, they're wearing pretty much what we wear here.
You mean the Madonna look is out on the street anyway, so...
Yeah.
As a customer, you kind of feel like when you walk in and you see 30 to 40 women.
You don't want to hurt 39 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
you feel
God.
like a little kid in a candy store with a nickel in his pocket. Which one do I want?
Yeah. But you get over that too, I assume.
He's not like a kid in a. He's like a kid in a candy store that saw that bought the first candy cane that he saw, and then when that candy cane left him, he bought the next candy cane
We're
that
at
he
the
saw.
Mustang Ranch outside Reno in Nevada, and it's legal, and we'll be back in just a moment.
I hope I don't knock your elbow.
I want to try these phones again. Are you there, caller? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. What do you think here?
Okay, yeah, I'm only 16.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if I could, if I was accompanied by adults, if I'd be able to get a babe.
Joe.
Hey, Jedi Rich.
Yeah, if it was up to me, as soon as you're 14, you could come here. But the law
Oh
says,
my
the law
God.
says you got to be 18.
Hold
so
on,
get a
hold
fake
on, hold
ID.
on.
Let me try.
Okay, beyond what the guy just said, can we take a second that he has the exact same view on this as Savvy Guy? In Savvy Guy's legendary video where he said, at what age should you buy the box, he concurred exactly with this guy.
Whoa, son. Joe, they're going to pull your license again. Please let me try and get some of these calls done because we do have a jammed up phone system. Hi, are you there, caller? Are you there, caller? No, you're not. All right, we're trying to make this work. Yes.
Do I think that they paid him?
I want
No.
to know if, of all the women who work here,
Believe it or not, even though they're being kind of negative about it, this is incredibly positive publicity for the Mustang Ranch, because Phil Donahue's there. He's saying, like, I'm here. We're having a good. People are having it. We're laughing and having a good time. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's really good advertising.
most of their families know, or do they keep most of it a secret? And the one in the black, if you worked when you were pregnant.
If I work.
Did you work when you were pregnant?
No, I didn't. I didn't work when I was pregnant, and it's well, my family's gonna find out today that I work here, and it's really sticky because my dad's in law enforcement. And
oh no!
Erica, please give us just the evolution of this. How did a nice girl like you look up to find yourself a hooker?
Well,
how does a Viking-coated female such as yourself?
I'm a dental assistant. I can't have a job, but without living with my husband, and I'd like to get a house and accomplish things, and I can make way more money than I do with the dental assistant.
But what happens to a young woman? What was the first time for you? Just some of the. Were you a teenager and?
You mean the first time sex or working?
The first time you got paid for sex.
Well, I met someone in a club who was older than me, and it was just such a large amount of money. I mean, I couldn't say no.
And was it difficult?
Yeah, the first time it was. Mm-hmm.
And did you feel dirty?
I don't really remember. I just, it was difficult.
And this is a cash deal, and you
she's
said
a dental assistant. Well, as long as she's getting tested,
and one trick led to another. And
yeah.
I mean, a boxer could be a
yes,
or MMA person could be a dental assistant.
My mother used to be a prostitute, so I knew about prostitution
from a very young age. So, and it was kind of glamorized to me, but it's,
my first date, I'm the one that, scrubbed himself because I felt real dirty, just because it was the first time I got paid for it, but now,
So now you don't feel that way?
No.
Are you there, caller?
Why was that lady in the audience biting her lip?
Caller?
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hi, I just want to say that I think the brothels are part of Nevada's history. I've lived here for the past 11 years, and I would certainly hope that my husband wouldn't visit one, but I think they're here to stay.
Yeah. Is there no one in Nevada against this? We know you are, Reverend. I'm looking for someone else here. Yes. Well, they're going to be upset with us. They're going to think we just set this up to make it look like everybody. And we're trying to give you the whole picture. Yes.
Hi, I'm newly relocated here, but I find prostitution very anti-family, and I'd just like to know, how would you feel if your husband or your significant other utilized such services?
well, I think if I was married, I would rather prefer my husband to come here than to go pick a girl up downtown or on the streets or in a bar. Because at least I know he's not going to bring anything home to me.
If he's going to do it, he's going to do it anyway.
How about with you, though? Don't you want him to be with you?
No, really. If he's going to do it, he's going to do it anyway. It's better to do it here.
Can I say something to that? Condoms. Let's be realistic. Whether people men are married or not.
They're not going to visit here.
Why does that lady care?
This is not a
Other than
relationship.
maybe
This is just a service.
sounds like
It's
her
not
husband
we
is
fall in
down
love with
here
them.
plunging into the Viking chick or something.
Yeah, I know.
She's taking it
I want
awfully
the white
personally.
too. I do.
This is really anti-family. Being the only legal state, is there a lot of resumes that come in from around the country?
Joe.
Resumes?
Yeah, from other women. From other people who want to work here.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of desires. And is that what you're talking about? Different desires?
People looking for work, Joe. This is the only place where it's legal.
Yeah, continuously.
Over here.
Continuously.
Let's not taint the wonders of prostitution with social realities.
Joe, I moved here from New York 11 years ago, and then a friend here said that you only hired beautiful
Look at them
college
glasses.
girls.
Oh, my
Is that-
God.
Was that so then?
No, that's not true.
No?
We'd hire you if you apply for a job. No, that's not true. We hire, first of all, I don't do the hiring. The manager does. But we hire anybody. Anybody that's pretty and
Oh,
non-pretty.
there you go. We hire anybody. You know, anybody that's pretty.
This is for Joe.
Anybody that has, you know.
I think most of the people in Reno think he's done a wonderful job.
He's interviewing every elderly woman in the audience.
You're the most liberal audience we've ever had in our lives here. I am shocked at you.
Yeah, I'm a gambler, and I think prostitutes and gamblers get a pretty bad rap. And I think
Oh
these
my
girls have a lot
God,
of
look at
courage
this
for being
guy
honest
having a
about it
complete
and not
coke
trying to hide it, so
breakdown.
that's all I got to say.
Hey, listen, Phil, I'm a gambler, man, and I just want to say that gamblers and prostitutes get a bad rap, man.
You know, everybody talks bad about prostitution. What about, I mean, there's probably not a woman in the world that hasn't used sex to get something they want at one time or another. So what's the difference between them and a prostitute?
And
They're
we'll
gonna
be
survive.
back in just a moment.
He would definitely be on open panels now.
Nothing tantalizes the taste buds more than piping hot charbroiled beef or the savor of fresh steamed shrimp, chilled to perfection. Whatever your meats desire, we've got it at Stop Shop and Save. This week, save on Green Spring fruit drinks, gallon jug 99 cents.
He's like, everybody,
Cola,
you're
Diet
misunderstanding
Light, and
this.
2-liter bottles, 79 cents.
These women
each.
are
Ivory soap,
prostitutes,
4-bar
but
package,
all
99
women are
cents.
prostitutes. That's something I wish someone had told me in my early 20s.
A medical mistake may have caused your child's cerebral palsy or brain damage. Find out free. Call the tough, smart lawyers of the Spectre Legal Team.
Call the tough and smart
385-2100.
lawyers.
If your child has lead poisoning or was injured in an auto accident, call the Spectre Legal Team, 385-2100. We've helped hundreds of accident victims collect millions of dollars. Find out about all the cash and benefits you and your child may have coming. The Spectre Legal Team, 385-2100. 385-2100.
Oh, wow, here we go.
Darling, I can tell you what to wear to catch a man. But what to wear to outrun one? I don't know where to begin. But I know someone who does.
The Sports Authority, featuring Adidas men's activewear and men's footwear, plus a big selection of JanSport, day packs, fanny packs, and book packs.
Trust me, darling, it will be love at first sight.
The Sports Authority. You've never seen
I didn't know
anything
this one
quite like
had
it.
some of the commercials too. News Channel 2, and in Baltimore, nice.
Morning 2, I'm Horace Holmes, and coming up today on News Channel 2 at noon, it's Tuesday, and it's time
Horace
for Out
Holmes.
to Lunch. The Silver Diner will be here. It's the latest restaurant to open in the new Townsend Town Center. We'll have the latest on the Duchess of York. After burying her breasts, the British public wants her stripped of her title. Join us today for these stories, plus Ken's 5-day forecast. All at
Wow.
noon.
What a story. Dude, the jacuzzi rules. Come again, Donahue.
If you join us late, we're at the Mustang Ranch outside Reno, a legal brothel. And this happens to be the bar. Here's the parlor where a lot of folks have gathered here to talk about the world's oldest profession. Joe Conforti joins us along with 3 of the women who work here. We are told there are 30 women who work here full-time. And yes, many of them reside here and work here, pay a certain fee for the rent, for the use of the room as a home, and half the income goes to the house. Yes, they are checked regularly by
half, right off the
physicians.
top.
They do
Hey,
surrender
what's up, Joe?
blood, and the check includes a review to ensure that
Now,
these
that
young
goes a
women are
little
infected
bit
with
past,
anything, from gonorrhea, chlamydia, to AIDS. Yep.
Wetting your beak.
I just wanted to say that I represent one of the people who do not agree with prostitution, and I feel that I feel that it's degrading to women as a whole. That it's something that is,
Phil should be like, you ever put out for dinner, sweetheart?
Now, as you know, I don't mean to suggest you don't know this, but it's complicated in either event. Those who support legalized prostitution say, first of all, why spend all kinds of public money to have cops chasing hookers when the kids are shooting up? We got too many problems. Cops are overworked as it is. Not only that, when you make prostitution illegal, you promote an underworld of pimps and other people who either exploit the girls
People like
or
Joe
in many, many
Montana.
ways hurt them. And at least this is, this kind of facility cuts through the pretense. We accept the reality of this activity, which has been with us all the time, forever and ever, always will be, and at least make it safe.
Well, the inevitability of something does not make it right. I don't feel that it makes it a good thing to do, and I don't feel that it's good for women.
Phil Donahue should challenge her to open a jar of pickles like Andrew Wilson
I'll
did.
try this one more time. You agree with this person? Yeah, well, tell me.
I'm concerned because I travel a lot, and it makes a laughing stock out of Nevada because people always make jokes about it was having legalized prostitution. And
Oh, why your feelings are hurt? What about your state pride?
And it really concerns me. We're up against serious political issues in this state, and we're not being taken seriously, I don't feel.
Phil, can I say something?
Yes, briefly.
There's a lot of lonely guys out here, and when they come here to
Tell
when
them,
they come
Joe.
to Mustang, these girls really make them feel at home.
Right. I assume, let me just see. You're Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, I assume also that, do I understand you to believe that this...
What hat's that guy got
it's
on
better
behind
than
Phil?
standing around a singles bar where you may be there 3 or 4 hours wasting a lot of time, maybe hitting on women who don't like it.
You're going to pay for it one way or the other.
Yeah. Is the caller there?
Vince
I'm glad
Russo
you waited,
vibes.
caller. Go ahead. Caller? Can you hear
Listen,
me,
bro,
caller?
you're going to be paying for it one way or the other,
ahead, please.
so...
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I'd just like to say that I think that it's an absolute disgrace. It degrades women, and as far as the residents of Reno saying that it's okay, that is totally ridiculous. What about our children and our family values?
What about the children?
You want to talk to him?
I'd just like to say that contrary to popular belief, all Reno and Sparks men do not visit Mustang Ranch. It's accepted, but there are family members and they
Not that you know
with
about.
values and morals.
Not that you know about.
Everyone does.
I would like to say that just because she is a hooker, that is not degrading.
We got another... Look at this Viking guy behind Phil here. Is that Grizzly Adams?
To me.
Right. It's my choice.
I bet he's security. Can you imagine? Look
I have a
at... Why
question for
oh
Joe
my God,
Montana.
look at
You
this.
say that you rather come out here to find your affections. Well, can't you find a nice girl in town that
Who
you don't have
told
to have
her
sex
to
with?
wear
I mean, does
that?
sex
Oh, my
constitute a
God.
relationship? Can't you find somebody that you can have a real good time with? I've seen you in your,
A real
in your
good time?
profession, and you're quite the talker. And you can talk just about anybody into anything. And I would think that you could find a really nice girl, because you're not bad looking. You could find a really nice girl somewhere.
Yeah, but everybody's not that good looking. What about the guy?
I want to answer
Because-
real fast. Who would take care of that
Because
person
paying
down there
for it,
if it wasn't for
for
houses
in a
like
lot
this,
of
that person
cases,
would-
isn't
You
just
talk
about
the
the act of it.
Who's in our
It's
audience in a
the
wheelchair?
ease
Your
of
point is what?
access
That this
and the
provides
ease of
public
detachment.
money which accommodates you. Oh, you accommodate
Like, I think
this-
Charlie
you
Sheen
accommodate-
always said when they asked him why did he spend so much money when he could get girls, he was like, I didn't pay him for like hooking up, I paid him to
I
leave.
support the women in this business, but I think they ought to own the corporation.
Well,
There, yeah, exactly. You're
Comment,
paying
because
for
it
the
seems like you girls
convenience.
spend a lot of time out here, and I've had the opportunity to take a tour of
Convenient
the ranch
box.
about a year ago, and I was shocked at the rooms. And maybe I've been watching too much TV, but I thought you'd have wallpaper on the walls and nice little bedspread and little pictures, and it was just like a room with a sheet on the bed. And
Well, you can
I
make
was
the
real
room however
surprised.
way you like the room. The room comes like that. The room just comes with a bed, mirror, sink. The room, you fix the room up the way that you would like
Some
it to
rooms
be.
are beautiful.
Phil, can I go back to the
Sure, go ahead.
women being degraded? First of all, like the lady said.
That's why
because we
Savvy
do
Guy's
this,
trying to
it's not
learn
degrading you.
mechanics
It
so
is
that he
our
can, he said he
individual
wants to get the
choice.
bag and then he can get the box.
I don't feel like a slut. I don't feel like anything. This is a business transaction, and that's the way it's carried out.
Yes, Reverend, I'm going to give you one more shot here. I don't want the Lord to be accusing me of not...
Thank you, Phil. I appreciate that. I just got one quick thing to say.
Preach to the choir.
I just got one quick thing to say. Joe, a while ago, said that he would let a 14-year-old in. He's also let underage prostitutes come in here, too. Just because it's legal, it don't
Big
make it right. You
accusations.
can legalize drugs or murder. That don't make it right.
That is impossible.
No, that's not true.
Yeah. Joe, you're saying no. Yes, yes, ma'am, you'll stand.
Yeah, but that's impossible because they got to
Because we have to have a work card. So how could that even
That's
be?
impossible.
You have to get fingerprinted. Yeah, you got to get fingerprinted. It costs $50.
Hi. My question is directed to the girls. When you first come to work here, do you sign a lease or a contract?
Wow.
And how long is it?
Judith
Well,
Light.
we're all our own independent contractors, and you do sign a contract, but that's just stating that you're paying your room and your board, and that you won't have any drugs like that.
And we'll be back in just a moment. Let me see if the phones are working. Is the caller there? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hello? Is
Go,
this Phil?
go, yeah.
Hi, Phil. I'm a local caller from Reno area.
Yeah.
And
Let's go. I'm almost out of time. Let's go.
Okay, I have nothing against the ladies. I do have something against prostitution, though. I back Brother Bob up 100%. And I think what Brother Bob Schwartz is doing is awesome because he has a heart for the people and a heart for God, and he has a heart for souls.
He thanks you very much for
TJ
calling.
Yao on the
Let me
line.
just try and get another call on here. Are you there, caller? Go ahead. Are you there, caller? Boy, this is pulling teeth.
Hello?
Look at the
Yes,
size
go
of that
ahead,
guy,
please.
man. Good
I just
Lord.
want to say I think these women are sick and disgusting. Don't they have any morals? Don't they have any self-respect?
You want to talk to her?
I'm
Ogre
sure I
class.
have self-respect for myself. Just because I'm a prostitute doesn't mean that I don't have any morals. This is just the life that I chose It's to like lead. if someone this is just a offered business. to pay us extra to take off condom, we don't do that. We want things out of life, and this is a good way to go about it for us.
No condom?
Financially.
No condom, no
No
business.
service, right. No service.
No condom, no service.
Forget
Go
that
ahead,
then.
caller.
I'm
I think there's
definitely
another caller online. Are
canceling
you there?
My reservation at the
Hello?
Mustang
Yes, go
Ranch.
ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Hi. I'm a resident of Reno, Nevada, and I'm against it. I think we live in a farce of society.
We live in a
It's against
fallen
the law
world,
for kids to
guys.
skateboard. We
That's my
don't even
favorite
have
thing
a
to say
Zoom,
people
but we
to
have
people when I do
legalized
IRL.
prostitution and legalized gambling.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, we are in a fallen world.
Regardless of the money that you guys make, you're still letting
Wow, look
yourselves
at her
be used by
two-handing
men.
it. What a
And I
pro.
don't really understand that. You have a profession.
Wow, this is a
When are you
much
gonna do
more
hair? Are you guys
flattering
gonna do this
angle.
forever? When are you gonna get a real job?
Is that the same woman?
Of course not.
Well, this is a real job.
We have plans.
Wow.
I have saved my money in the bank, and I'm buying a house this summer.
Yeah,
and I'm
just
only 25.
Depends
and
on
as
how
much
you
as
want to
how
party,
it's
Rush
hard.
Limbaugh Burger
and I'm
account.
Just a moment. Let this young woman make her point, please.
Hi, I work here also, and I want you to know my family does know. My grandma is very supportive of me. And
Grace
about
Thorpe
the
in the house.
Excuse me, under 18, it's not true. We have to have an ID.
She just
we
belched
get
into the
fingerprinted.
microphone.
Excuse me, my grandma is very supportive of me, and about the excuse me, under 18, it's not true. We have to have an ID. We get fingerprinted, and we have to go through the sheriff's office to work here. So no, we cannot be underaged.
Now what, Reverend Bob?
Men don't use us, we use men. They're our bread and butter. You guys are sending us to school and buying us new cars and condos. So, you know.
Wow,
Giving
turning
away
heel
for
on the
free is not
Simps.
being
Not a
used,
good
but
idea.
You guys pay for it.
You
know,
work
you're not
here
getting
then. I
anything
don't
for
think
free.
you made that
Yeah, I
clear.
work here too.
All right. Yes. Yes.
I'd like to know what Joe pays for a business license for a year, and if that reflected on his reopening.
What we pay now?
Very trad.
We pay $35,000 for each place. So altogether, there's three places. We pay $105,000.
Yes. Yeah, hold on a moment. I have Shirley Coletti. Do I pronounce your name correct?
exactly.
You are a member of the Story County Board of Commissioners, so?
That's right.
And it's a three-member board.
That's correct.
And the board had to approve the resale of the facility to the brother of Joe Conforti's lawyer. How am I doing?
Joe You're doing Conforte. Fine.
And you voted 2-1 with you voting yay. Yes.
That's correct.
Tell us why.
Well, the reason for it
Well,
is
she
you've
said
seen
they don't do
before,
raw
By
dog.
the response that you've had,
Probably do
most of the response you've
covered
had is what I determine my
back
decision
door,
on.
but-
And based on the people of Story County,
Yeah.
The guy in the
most
background
of the
looks like
constituents
he's like
wanted
a
the brothels
battle
back.
mage.
And it's your right. It does bring revenue to Story County. But as far as the license, no, it had nothing to do with it whatsoever.
So you have no compulsion at all about the fact that it's legal? You think it's a good idea and it promotes revenue for the county?
I'm not against prostitution nor the brothels.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
I think it's really difficult to find people in here against Mr. Conforti because he's given so much back to our community, our schools, the council.
He's given so much back to
He's
our
done a lot for
schools.
Reno, and if you're trying to find people in here that don't like him, it's going to be really tough to do.
Running out of time. Yes, ma'am.
What everyone assumes is that women who go into prostitution have been abused either physically or emotionally as children. Can you say personally or people that you know? Is that true?
She was wearing
My mom's
a
school
trendy
teacher, my
scarf
dad's a
before it
police
was cool.
officer. I had a great home life.
I think
Yeah, I
that's
did
just
too.
a stereotype
That's a
of,
stereotype.
oh, the poor little
Yeah.
girl got into this because she was abused. That's maybe,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was
maybe
never
there. Of
abused.
course, there's girls out there like that, but I mean,
Some have
that's
college
just
degrees.
stereotype of.
I would just like to say in support of how he supports the community, Nevada has a really healthy
Oh, she's getting
financial balance
Spicoli.
sheet, I
They're
think. My husband's a
playing her
state
out with the
employee,
music.
And he attests they get raises every
So
year.
there'll be
because-
no layoffs here?
Oh, they
No,
pulled
not,
back.
Well, not for the state, no.
Yes.
I don't think it's that you were talking about that we're a liberal audience. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think that we're not touched by it. It's outside of Reno. We're
That's
just
it.
not involved in it.
Well, yeah, that would be that's a reasonable like DLC.
I just want to tell these girls that I really respect them and I respect their truth.
You think I could
I
cut
wouldn't
it
wanna
as
get up
you
here
think
and
I
tell
could
you
make it as a
everything I've done in
pimp?
my
Is
life.
what you're saying? It'd be funny. All right, I think we got time for one more. Let's roll the dice. I mean, I could definitely, like, visually, I think I could pull it off. Banana Republic Warlord vibe would be goals, I think.
Tell you what, is it only rock and roll or is it big business? It is super entertainment, right?
They're
An
not.
elitist cliche
Why do
or
you
rich
say
white
they're
boy.
woke? Why are the? What's woke about the? They're not woke. They're based.
Who won't let anyone else in, just like blacks who control rhythm and blues. Are we segregating our
Does
music
he have an
too?
earring?
I know it's only rock and roll, gang, but it is dividing our culture in some ways. Or is it too late to unite? I don't think
I gotta
so.
get
I
it
say,
together.
let the music give the answer. Come on.
How strange. What in the world could possibly be woke about those geese? Speaking of, I have a new based geese video coming out soon.
Hey, Scotty. Scotty, how come my buddy Sam Kinison isn't here with you tonight? Huh? Let me start. Let me introduce. Zip it! Let me introduce home base up here for you. We have Stuart Goldman, who is a rock critic. Right? We got Joey
Rock.
Ramone.
Ooh, right in the nuts.
Joey Ramone from the Ramones, all right? And we've got buddy of mine. We got Ace Frehley, one of the founders of KISS, all right? Let me start with you.
Ace Frehley, boo.
Let me start. Then home base, of course. Home base, we got at, I should say at Loudmouth #1, we've got Steve Whitaker and at my buddy Alex Mitchell, all right? Circus of Power.
Oh, boy.
Stewie, baby. Rock and roll has always been called the devil's music. You remember that from when you were a kid, all right? When Elvis appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show, they didn't show him down below the waist, all right? Told not to shoot him down there. Is what we're seeing and hearing today any worse than the 1956 gyration?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because when Elvis came on, he was original. He started something. You mentioned Bob Dylan before. Bob Dylan was original. Shut up. This guy, I've seen this guy 8 million times. This guy's going to have a day job in 5 years from now.
Oh.
We're never going to remember him.
Wow. What a natural heel.
This is not original. This is just some gimp that looks like he crawled out of a garbage
A
can.
gimp?
Why? What does he look like? He doesn't look like a garbage
can't
can.
play.
He's a friend of mine,
The
pal.
band, there's 8 million bands in garages that play just like that.
How much do you know? All right, now you just made the move on him. How much do you know about his music?
I heard it. I've 3 chords.
How come you told our guitar
Hey,
player
sad boy.
backstage that we sounded good?
Good guitar player. Good guitar.
Just do me one favor and tell
What
the
was his
truth
last
here,
album?
okay?
You remember his last album?
I never heard of this guy
What is
before
his
I
present
came.
album?
I even know one title of one of the songs. I never heard of him. That's because you don't know
Then
what
how come you can nail him?
What are you doing here?
How come you can nail him? You're nailing him like so many other critics, baby. Like so many other critics without knowing what the hell is behind you.
I just heard him now.
You're nailing him. Why don't you go marry Tipper Gore?
Man, 100%.
Why don't you marry someone like Tipper
Why
Gore?
don't you marry G. Gordon Liddy, pal? You want to make me
Oh.
into a bad guy.
I don't want to make you into a bad guy. You make yourself into a bad guy. You're attacking something you don't even know about. You've never heard their music.
I just heard it. I just heard it.
All right. Okay. Now, you've been around rock and roll since This is a guy who's been around rock and roll since he was a kid.
Hold on.
Well, he used to sing with the
Trap Truffles.
replacements for the Kingston Trio. That's like, you know, that's like singing for a replacement of a urinal, man, you know.
Replacement of a urinal.
Now, he's knocked you because you got a few, whatever the hell is stuff
Well, don't
is,
you
know.
think, Mort, that skin prejudice is the worst prejudice in the world?
Skin prejudice?
Skin prejudice. That's like if you're putting down a black man or putting down the guy with tattoos because of the way his skin looks. You're a pretty weird character. To come up.
Hold on. Is this guy trying to make the case that like the struggles of the tattooed are on par with the struggles of the black community?
Second, the last show you were putting us down for our look. Now maybe I don't dress like I'm out of a Sears catalog or whatever.
When's the last time you washed your hair, pal?
You got him on.
When was the last time you washed your mouth?
Hey, Ace,
See, look,
let me get to Ace. Wait a second. We're not getting anywhere here.
Didn't we
I
hear
wanna
this
find...
stuff in the 60s?
Anybody,
Didn't we hear it 20
anybody
years
can,
ago, 30
you know
years
what,
ago?
man?
Go get a haircut. Go wash your hair.
In
Bathe every day.
In L.A., no, but that's what you want to make me. But what I'm saying is...
Don't take cheap shots at me. We're talking about music.
This is Kmart. You're a dime a dozen, man. I've seen guys like you walking down the street. There's nothing unusual about you. I don't care if you have tattoos or don't. If you want to have that for the rest of your life, good for you.
Ace,
I used to have stupid hair,
too. To you. God, we're getting nowhere with this. This guy should have been a dermatologist, not a critic, right? Let me get to Ace. Ace, let me ask you about, you started a group called KISS that created a whole new look for rock and roll.
You know,
all right, okay. Now, what were you trying to do? What were you trying to do? Were you trying to convert rock and roll fans, or were you trying to create them into satanic cults?
Satanic panic.
Had nothing to do with it. We wanted to put on a rock and roll show, not only great music, but we wanted to put out a visual show that was just as good as the music.
All brought about not necessarily by a new generation of music, by a new generation of electronics, of lighting, and everything else. You tied it all in, made it a total entertainment package.
I mean, a lot of people think, you know, KISS are multi-millionaires. For the first 5 or 6 years of touring, we broke even on the tours because we spent the amount of money that we made on tickets, we put right back into the show to make the greatest show in rock and roll.
Joey, the Ramones are I guess you would say, the fathers of punk. What is the credo behind punk rock?
Well, I mean... I mean, like,
well,
all right.
Joey, my daughter came home from going to dances, right? She come home with a bloody lip when she was 13, with scratches.
It's an
She
attitude.
did slam dancing.
What it is, it's an attitude. It's an attitude, whether it be Ramones or Elvis Presley or Jim Morrison, or, you know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah, man, I know.
Look, the guy can't even articulate. He can't even talk.
My daughter came home. All right. Little Kelly came home when she was a kid, 13 years old. She's 22 now. She'd come home with bloody lips and noses, and she had her hair done in checkerboard squares, blue and yellow hair. It was really neat, man. I really dug it. I dug it so much I shaved her bald. If you want to lead her class, so she let it bald.
Conceptual there.
Was that was conceptual? Oh, let's talk about politics, all right? Before I do that, I want to go Steve. Steve, where's Steve? Steve. Okay, there you are, babe.
Hey.
You guys...
It's true, ATF Media. If you've got money or power, you can get the box to tolerate you.
Are the Mr. Cleans of Hard Rock. Would you like to hassle any of our other guests because of what they do in Hard Rock?
No, not at all. I think the problem is that a lot of the bands, and these guys already in an earlier show, accept the fact that we're accountable for what we do as bands, and we put out mass music and media and everything else, and there has to be an accountability for what's going on. And we had our first American tour last year. We'd like to give you a T-shirt, Mort. Do you accept this?
All right, nice.
And we saw.
That's a large?
That's yeah.
Where you sell those, in Japan? Huh?
T-shirt companies know what they're doing.
We saw
too
many thousands of people
This
who
does not,
get
I hope,
influenced.
does not, I hope, have Jimmy Baker and Tammy on the back.
Uh-oh, we're
nice.
about
Yeah, I'll wear
in
that. I'll
about
wear
5
that
to
to
10 minutes.
California.
We're gonna get a history
And I'll bring
lesson
it-
on
bring
Bear
one-
and
You got a
Cross.
next one?
Yes,
I'll bring it home to my girlfriend, all right?
Okay.
I can't
We'll
wait to
that one
hear
out.
what
Okay.
happened to him.
You guys like to stay clean.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
So that means you don't get involved in problems
That crazy
with
movie they
sex
made about him. It's so
and drugs.
wacky.
No, we're trying to make a difference. Exactly.
When
We're
you're
up
making a
against
difference, are you
tremendous
making a
odds, too.
difference in the statement of your music or in the statement of the way you maintain your own lives? In
Both
other words,
go hand in hand.
huh?
Both go hand in hand. You can't live a life on stage and live a normal
All right.
life differently.
Okay, you're right. So you, in other words, do not use drugs yourself.
No.
Do not do music that professes the use of drugs as a great way of life.
Contrary to that.
The opposite
Contrary.
of that.
Do you guys sell big?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Do you think good will ever sell? And I don't mean good in a sense
man.
of culturally good,
Well, see,
artistically good. I mean good in.
The statements that he just made don't mean anything if you don't succeed. You know what? In my opinion, being like, okay, I guess if you just want to be moralists about it or whatever, but you know, you expected him to be like, yeah, so we don't talk about drugs. We profess the opposite, you know, and we made it, but like they haven't done anything.
Mr. Goody Two Shoes.
Well, we're trying to make a living like Ace and everybody else, but it doesn't matter for us. We're just trying to make a difference. And whether we go, multi-platinum, as Kiss did starting out, that's not really what our whole purpose is. We're trying
Who
to
do
make a living.
people have to go to bed with to get records? I'd like to know who Ace went to bed with or who went to bed with Ace to give him a record, all right? We're going to find out. Let's go.
We're going to find out who went to bed with Ace.
Introducing Lee Press-On Nail.
The Morton Downey Jr. Show, furnished by Quality Limousine Service. When in New Jersey, call 201-785-9071.
Let me ask about politics, all right? Honey.
They value their
honey,
personal
I love
integrity
you.
over money and
And you're
pussy.
looking good.
Wow.
Honey, did you have to go to bed with anyone to get a record contract?
Hey, there's the guy from Anthrax.
If I had to go to bed with anyone to get where I am now,
No,
I'd be
you got a
cleaning
record contract.
toilets.
Ruby
record contract?
SpaceX coded.
You don't have a record contract?
No.
Would you like one?
You making an offer, Mark? How many inches of record contract do you want to offer me?
Just wait till you get the right thing together.
Exactly, and that's what's happening. All right, but seriously, let me ask you a question. Have you been put upon by anyone who says,
Take it off, boy.
Taylor, baby. You look like you can sing tonight. Would you like
The one guy in the crowd that yelled "Take it off" reminds me of this one guy. I don't know what his username is, but in Healthy Family Force, anytime Joy is on screen, all he puts in the chat is "Take off shorts."
like to make a record? I'd just like to try for an average try. I mean, not necessarily a record, but...
Yeah, we...
Safest sex I know, pal, is fully dressed. All right?
The people who make those offers in the business are usually the ones that have no clout whatsoever.
Usually people who can't get you any place.
Well, people can get you places, but on an integrity level, I mean, I don't think we have to resort to such tactics. We're not into...
Does it go on, honey?
It probably does,
Such
but
tactics.
not in the circle that we know. We like want to put the knee pads away for women in this industry.
Where's Jesse?
Where do I put the knee pads away, man?
I want to talk to Jesse Nash. Is Jesse around here anyplace? Jesse, stick with us. Jesse, come here a second, babe. Come here, Mal.
Yeah.
Come here, Music Mal. Is the business, zip it! Is the business of rock and roll still a dirty business in the sense of these guys trying to get themselves a record deal or get something going for themselves?
Let's put it this way. I think that anybody who's in this industry has got to draw their line of morals. And when I say that, means you have to stick to what you believe in. Nobody's ever going to get any further by going to bed with somebody. If anything, the
I want to see Jean-Claude Van Damme kick this guy into a piano, and then like the lid closes and the legs fly off.
Is it a dirty business?
It is a dirty business.
Is it dirtier than it ever was?
It's no dirtier than any other business. It's a
All right.
corporation, and
all right, then let me go to Ace. Did you?
Because he's a rock critic, Cody Turbo.
To get you ahead, or who did you have to kiss, huh, Ace?
What are you, serious?
Ace, baby. I mean, let's face it. All right?
I'm not homosexual, and most of the
I didn't say homosexual. Aren't there some women who run record companies? Huh?
Megaforce Records run by a woman.
There's some women who run record companies,
Not
huh?
the people that I dealt with when it came to me.
You didn't have to do anything wrong, huh?
I signed my last contract. I signed with Johnny Z from Megaforce Records, and
All right.
What'd they cheer
Johnny
that
Z,
for?
Johnny Z is looked upon as one of the clean guys. You must have run into some dirty ones
all
before.
I had to do was have a tuna fish sandwich with him.
Yeah, he just had to blow Gene.
Johnny Z, you get big bonuses, huh?
I don't even pay royalties.
Well, that's no different than most record companies.
The way it is.
Nothing different about that.
No, but I would assume that if a female might have to do that.
Might have to go to bed?
I was never approached by that. No.
Listen, there's the art of temptation.
Why is this guy
even talking? He knows nothing about the business. I watched the other show.
He's a waste, man. He's a nobody.
Are we gonna reduce?
We got this bum.
I like how they got Joey Ramone down at the Loudmouth station.
It's amazing. I haven't said anything yet, and they're all.
Wait, people are busting their butts to make it. We got nobodies on this show. These are people giving their life to the business.
Sir, I gather you
don't call me sir, man. I don't know even what you are.
Evidently,
Don't address me.
Talk to each other. Go on down, talk to each other.
Evidently, if I'm a nobody, then you're a nobody because you're putting me in the same level.
Here we go.
Listen, we're adults here. We're adults here. Why don't we sit there and talk like adults?
This is awesome. I love this.
I'm here. Words of age, you.
Here we go. He wants to arm wrestle.
You're just a wimp. That's it. You're afraid to speak. When your time is, you've got it in your corner. All right. You mind if I build something?
Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk.
That's what I want to do, ATF Media.
Talk.
I'm not going to have a shouting match with you.
I'm not having a shouting match. I'm talking to you, baby.
The thing is this. I don't even know how you got on the show. I'll be honest.
You know something? I write.
Ace, come here. I write. You've done more interviews than anybody in the world.
He's like, you don't even belong on
okay?
this show.
You ever hear of this bum? Yeah, brains.
Get rid of this bum.
You know this guy? Who is he representing?
The bottom line is, I write about acts that are happening right now.
For who?
Oh, boy.
Sit down with me, Jess. Well,
excuse me. You want to get into that?
I sell 4 million records a year. What do you sell?
You read the right magazines.
Tell you what, we're gonna
Come on,
find
we need
out
a moderator
if
to
rock
get
and
things under
roll
control.
Has become even
Ooh, we get to see a
more
cameraman.
racist. I want to hear from you, Mr. Z. I want to hear from you, baby. All right, stay with us.
You weren't hitting your party quotient or quota. Oh, I wanted to see that NRA commercial. Shit.
All right, let me go. And incidentally, the hottest heavy metal record company in the United States is run by a woman, isn't it?
What company is that?
You don't know? There's
Megaforce Records.
There's Megaforce Records. Right? Now let me go, if you will, to you, Johnny Z.
So the
All right.
record
For
label he
years,
signed with
MTV
does have a
wouldn't play
woman in
metal,
charge.
punk, or black music. Now they play metal and punk, but very little black. Why?
I think they don't photograph as well. That was a joke! That was a joke! I think they don't photograph as well.
They don't photograph as well? Wow.
That was a joke! That was a joke!
And this, let me hear you, Johnny Z.
Everything is basically dictated by cash registers. I remember in 1983 trying to get a heavy metal band signed to the record company. And I used to see A&R guys standing like this. They couldn't even take the records off that I was putting on. The only thing a record company hears is the jingle jangle of the machine. And whatever's hot, whatever the cash dictates, that's what they're involved with. Just to answer your question exactly.
Scotty, you got to come in here with me, babe.
Payola.
Let me introduce Scotty in, all right? Scott, of course, was with Anthrax.
Yeah.
Scotty, why, babe? Why is heavy metal all white?
It's hard to say, you know.
Same reason maybe that our rhythm and blues is almost all black?
It's a lot has to do with peer pressure. You know, growing up when you're a teenager, when you start listening to music, and you know you're 12, 13 years old, and you just get in with the crowd. And
man, I loved Anthrax for like 2 years.
Rock and roll. And,
they were like my favorite band.
Heavy metal, and it's the same with rap music. I think you know black teenagers are growing up with kids who are also listening to rap music.
Well, at least you're getting white kids doing rap music. You're not getting black kids doing heavy metal.
You know, you can't. You don't dance to heavy metal.
Living color.
You're going on tour. Anthrax going on tour pretty soon. They're going to do a pretty interesting experiment. Your opening act is Colors, isn't it, over there?
Living Color.
Yeah. All right, which is a black group. Stuart, where's Stuart? Stuart, you're out there. I want to ask you as a rock critic. Why is the music so divided along racial lines? Has it been this way historically?
First of all, the
is that Lemmy in the background? I can't tell.
idea that blacks are segregated against is absurd. I mean, in one sense, the real black guys like Sonny Boy Williamson,
the
and
real
Lewis,
black
and
guys,
real black guys, the other guys,
black guys like is absurd. I mean, in one sense, the real black guys like Sonny Boy Williamson and Furry Lewis and the guys
what
who
a take.
The guys who started. I mean, rock and rollers are always falling all over themselves, paying homage to blacks. But the fact is that all the blues players in Louisiana that started this stuff are still broke and still living in little shacks. And so the whole idea that
what a heel promo.
That now blacks are equal is garbage.
Well, wait a minute, whose fault is that?
Oh my gosh.
Is it our fault that they're living in shacks?
Well, maybe it is, considering you ripped off their 4 chords. Maybe you should give them a little of it. Tell me you can play as good as and then we'll talk about it, right? And what about one of the biggest selling groups in America is Public Enemy? Do you see
Well, he
get
says
recognized?
put on an Anthrax record and listen to a Sonny Boy Williams influence.
You got it, buddy. That's right.
Is it that?
Where?
Where's his royalties, man?
Huh?
Where's
I'm
his
saying
royalties?
you won't hear it. I'm saying I
Led
defy you to
Zeppelin
hear
ripped
it.
almost every riff they ever played off
You
those
guys-
people. They didn't get.
Okay, right here we have a potential old school trad. We have to keep our eyes open. She's got sunglasses on indoors, which I think is cool.
Did they give him a cent?
We're not
No.
talking about Led
We're not
Zeppelin.
talking about Led Zeppelin. You're talking
Well,
about
you ripped
apples
off
and
Led
oranges.
Zeppelin, man.
Did we?
No, not you. Ace.
Oh, okay.
I was a member of the KISS Army when I was 12, man. I
A
know
member
what
of the
it's
KISS
about.
Army.
Why were you a member of the KISS Army?
Because I was 12 years old. It's 14 years
You
later.
didn't know any better.
That's right. But now I
Where's
do.
Queen Vixen? Where's
Thanks
Queen
for the
Vixen?
money, dummy.
Queen Vixen, come on up here a second, will you please? I want to see the Queen a second. Take this, you nice lady, and let me ask you a question. Not only are blacks excluded, I think there are only about 3 white groups in heavy metal who are women, aren't there?
Yeah.
And you're one of them.
Well, we're one of them. We're not signed, though. There's Vixen, there's Femme Fatale.
Speaking of the mic, honey.
Girl School is a good female heavy metal band.
None of them can play.
How come? How
Hold the
come?
mic up to
What
your
the hell's
mouth,
going
honey.
on?
What?
None of them can play.
No female can play an instrument.
Go back
Just like you.
None of them can play.
Boys Town.
You guys need to go
Ooh,
back and
go
learn how
back
play
to
guitar.
Boys Town? Whoa.
These are Queen, these are critics. These are the people who decide what is good music. They decide what's good.
You guys are too old, man.
That's why we have a job and you're not
Too old.
What's going on? No idea. You're
You
way
think
too old.
you think maybe they're still in the Herman's Hermit generation?
Yeah, what is this? Kingston Trio, right? When was the last time
Hermits.
anybody here put on a Kingston Trio album, right?
Oh, Kingston Trio.
Give me Circus of Power.
Wrong. That's okay.
Any day.
Look.
All right. I'll tell you what. I still want to find out exactly what goes on behind the producer's doors. Who's laying down on the job? Let's do that next.
What a great... The energy on this stage had to be, like, amazing. I want AI and VR to work together to put me in a completely immersive Morton Downey Jr. episode taping.
Let's see for just a second if I can get inside Ace's head. Ace, you're on the road, all right? Rock and roll stars are accused of trashing hotels, nightclubs, everything else, all right?
Yeah.
Give me your best on-the-road story.
Well, you know, there's probably
No, give it to me. I don't know, man.
There's a dozen good ones. You know, a lot of rock stars get bad raps. You know, you're on the road 3, 4, 5 weeks at one point in time, and you don't have a chance to see your family, see your friends, you know, and you get frustrated, you know. The night before, I was supposed to do a big concert in Chicago. My favorite guitarist, my guitar already dropped, the neck cracked in half. You know, I would...
Let me hear his story, man. Let me hear his story. What'd you do? What'd you do? Drop your pencil and break your lead, baby?
Hey.
Oh, wow.
Let me hear his story.
So what did I do? You know, I got back to the hotel room, you know. I had a couple of beers. Next thing I know, a TV was flying out the window.
One of those things happen. I mean,
you know,
I got to tell you, here's other things.
Before I threw the TV, I made sure nobody was down there.
It was certainly more socially acceptable than it is now.
Years ago when I was on the road, I worked for a joint that gave me a $4,000 bum check.
Yeah.
All right? You get back, you need that money to get to the next spot.
Bum
You play your
check.
band, you don't have any money. I got back to the room.
More it's like,
so I
listen,
threw the
you loan a
television
guy
set through the wall, I trashed the
$306.17
bed, I did
for a
some things
hotel
to
room
the-
and a bus
No, I did
ride,
about
and the next thing you
$15,000
know,
worth of damage.
you don't have any groceries.
So when you hear the stories about how rock and roll stars are dumping stuff out the window of the Plaza Hotel, you got to know some of the stories that went on before, where they got treated like maybe dirt when they walked through the lobby.
Like that, unprovoked.
How about
That's the thing, though. I mean, rock stars thrive on this bad... I'll talk to you after the show in the parking lot. These rock stars...
Let's hear from
Man, I would love to be in the crowd and cut a promo on one of the guests.
All in one. These rock stars thrive on the bad...
I really missed my window. I was only 9 though, I think. What
Wonderful
year
lady
was
here.
this?
Right away, you had to touch your bare arm, right?
Circus... Did I?
No, it doesn't
Scabby
say.
hand.
Circus of Power. I mean, they're hot. They're good. I like them. They got great ink too. I dig your ink. But you thrive on this bad boy image, and you guys are signed to RCA. You know, you were with major labels for years. Man, we are what we are. But you're being sucked up by corporate America. So what do you stand for?
What's wrong with corporate America? What is wrong with corporate America?
Whoa, look at that big symbol behind him.
As they are.
Listen,
Have any of you guys... Let me ask. Wait a second. Let me ask. Wait a second. Zip it a second. Zip it, you fat jerk. Zip it.
Listen, you fat jerk. God. Yeah, it's a lot of it is manufactured drama, yeah, but it's like so well done. It's so much fun to
For
watch.
the homeless, for instance?
We have a song on our album State. We have a song on our album State of Euphoria called "Who Cares Wins," and all the lyrics are about the homeless problem in New York City.
Are you donating any of that money?
That's what I want to. I don't want
We
to
have
listen
no
to a
idea
heavy metal song
to
about
raise
homeless
money.
people in New York City.
Your money to the homeless. If you're gonna write about it, then stand behind it.
Someone, hey, if someone would start.
Just tell him, hey, zip it.
Is he crashing out?
If someone would come to us, we've said numerous times we'd be involved. We did stuff for the American Indians. The homeless problem in New York, we're right behind it. Someone come to us. Let us. Where do we donate the royalties?
Is your publisher donating some of his bottom line profit?
I write for many publications. Some do.
What publication?
Look how smug that guy is. Oh my God.
But he has to ask.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I want to know what magazines you've written for.
The issue is not who I've written for. The issue.
Are you?
I'm the IRS. What's that matter?
One publication. Name one.
That I write for?
Yeah. Who are you?
I've written for Billboard. I've written for the New York Post.
When?
Recently. That's not the issue here. You're throwing the.
Oh boy, this guy might have lied on his
You're throwing it back in my
paperwork.
face. The bottom line is, do you donate any of your profits to the homeless? The issue is the homeless. You say you write about it. You're so committed. I'm not finished yet. You say
Oh man, this would be awesome.
that you're committed to the cause. Committing is putting your pocketbook to your big mouth. Now, wait. Let me hear an answer. I haven't heard an answer yet. I haven't heard. I'm not gonna. I'm talking to him.
Oh my God.
You can't give me an answer. Shut up and let me talk. Hey, let him answer. He's talking. Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk.
Go ahead, let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk, Johnny. He's 89.
On August 5th, we did a benefit show at the Ritz for the Megaforce 5th anniversary party. It wasn't donated to the homeless, but all the money was donated to the Cancer Foundation, Diabetes Foundation in America.
Oh boy.
Hey, man, I've written about things. I've written for the Musicians Assistance Program, which helps the musicians. Our very own, baby.
In this audience,
Our very own,
Circus
baby.
Magazine, People for Crank, all national publications. How come nobody knows who you are?
Hey, you know something? You just haven't been reading the right publications, my friend.
We'll be right back in just a second with the audience. Come on.
Oh, nice. Here we go.
Here Club for Men presents
You Be the Judge.
All right. We're going to get the audience down. Anytime you guys want to start coming down to Loudmouth, you go ahead and do it. But I want to tell you, regardless of the fact that we got a lot of guys here now who will tell you that, yeah, in the old days they experimented with drugs, hey, used drugs and everything else. Now they claim they don't, that they're fighting to keep people from using drugs. That's good. But, Mr. Goldman, give me a little incantation of some of the people who died.
Here's a litany of the lifestyle of these guys are so proud of. Andy Gibb died of cocaine use. Jimi Hendrix suffocated on his own vomit. Janis Joplin, heroin overdose. Frankie Lyman, heroin overdose.
I got a new person I want us
Richard
to watch
Manuel
after
hung
this
himself.
episode.
Robbie McIntosh, heroin overdose. Pigpen, cirrhosis of the
You
liver.
wish you lived in the
excessive
80s? I
drinking.
lived in the 80s, but I was a kid.
Gene Vincent, bleeding ulcer from alcohol. I could go on and on. This is the
Yeah, but
lifestyle that these guys are so proud of.
you just covered 22 years of rock and roll, and you only named me about 8 people. That sounds like a cross-section of America.
There are people from every single kind of career you can think of.
There's 85 people on the list.
And I'm not saying you don't have some snowheads and everything else, all right, in rock and roll. I bet you got some working at Chrysler Corporation too.
No doubt.
You know.
22,
so what do
yeah.
Do we condemn the whole damn business?
No.
We don't.
No 80s, no 90s.
Come on up here, babe.
I think
It did have kind of a goon feel to it, moving in on the cuffs.
American. I think it's corrupt.
There's the person I was looking at earlier. You couldn't really see her face. I thought we might have had a trad.
And I think that people play dirty.
I think it's
and people
AI.
do
It looks
what
like
they gotta do
AI
when they
now.
corrupt. I'm a musician from
Oh my gosh, I'm freak, and I feel
when
like
you
her
say
face is
corrupt,
melting. What's
when
going
you
on?
talk about, let's say, a major American corporation being corrupt, you're usually talking about the management. You're not talking about the guy on the auto workers line.
Right.
All right? So who are we talking about here? It's a corrupt business. Are we talking about the musician? Or are we talking about the guy who runs the business, who makes it possible for you to make a buck?
Well, what's music about? I mean, what's it about?
It must
Is
just
it
be
about
like
selling
the
style
man,
or
don't become
fashion?
esoteric.
light
Don't
grading
become
on the tape or
esoteric.
something,
I mean,
but it's
that's
really
the whole
making
point of real.
her
Music
face
has
feels like
become
it's almost like
style and
vibrating,
fashion and
Always
guys
was.
like
or it looks like it's
Always
vibrating.
was. It was, man.
See, now the corporations are behind it. Now.
I can tell you, I remember when Old Gold cigarettes came out in dancing packs, you know. Look, I mean, that's 30 years ago. It was no different than
But you
there is
didn't have
today.
every bozo on the street running around with some stupid haircut. I mean,
Everybody crawled out from under the rug and got into the music business.
I gotta tell you.
Music should be about making music. What is the point you're trying to make?
The point is I'm trying to make is that everybody crawled out from under the rug and got into the music business. Now it's like a zoo.
That sucks,
it's like a
sad
zoo.
boy.
It's not like it was
Yeah,
in
but
the
you
60s or the early 70s.
you keep ragging about everyone who has long hair, all right? If I had
We do
Jesus
live in a
Christ here right now,
fallen
you'd want
world.
to crucify him
wrong.
again.
You're absolutely wrong. I'm just saying, people are getting signed on how long their hair is. What's that all about?
What group has been signed on how long their hair is?
There are advertisements in Musicians Magazine. It says, "Hey, I'm in a band, man. I have long hair," and those are the guys that get the calls. You know, it's based.
So grow your hair, man.
He's not a musician, pal. He's not a musician like you are, buddy.
Is that in line with how Savvy Guy says that,
I put myself up against anybody.
like, women don't want him because he's not, like, hood enough, he's not bad boy enough?
Hey, Ace, come on. He's talking to you, man.
I think, you know, you're a human being before you're a musician, and there are things that the music that you're playing is about. It's about your life experience. It's about what you're about as a human being, and that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing in music,
I'm an entertainer.
isn't it?
I'm an entertainer, I'm a musician.
So what's more important, money or music?
To me,
What's more important?
I like to pay the rent. I like to be.
I like to do that too.
Yeah, I also like to.
You're very fortunate. You're very fortunate that you are where you're at, because there's a lot of people out here. Yeah,
No,
you look nice. You look beautiful.
You know the sad part about it. You know the sad. You know what happens.
I've been playing
The sad part about it. Wait a second, guys.
That critic thinks
The
he's
sad
not
part
getting the
about it
box
is
because
the
he's a
system
square.
grinds us down into reality. We start off at 21, 22, 25, playing the music, man, because we dig it, because we love it, because it gives a message. And then all of a sudden, we have to pay the rent, and we have to buy diapers for the kid, and we need a car for the wife to take the kid to school now, and we need one for ourselves, and we get trapped, as every generation has before, into earning a living.
This guy,
What's wrong
the
with earning a
only
living?
reason he has such a moral standpoint is because nobody's going to pay him to sing or play guitar. If
to make money.
he would do whatever they told him to do if he could get the check.
Everyone wants to make money, right?
It's just
now,
what
it's nice when you make the money, you do what you want to do like
And
he
I'm
does,
happy doing
and
what I do.
use
I'm
some
glad
of the
you're happy.
money to help other people. Right? Without the government taking it from you. Don't let the government tell you who to help. You decide who to help yourself, all right? Let me go to the... Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, you're saying also donate money. I think that it might be enough just to, like Scott Ian of Anthrax says, he writes songs to raise people's social consciousness. So
Yeah.
if you don't donate
Terry
money,
Gordy
at least
vibes.
that's something. I think that's something to
All right,
go
yeah,
for.
do anything
Right,
with your
just
talent.
something.
Do
Exactly.
something with your talent
Donating.
other than pave your own bed.
Exactly, because if you donate your talent, that in turn is donating money. So if you don't donate any money, you donate your talent. That's something, man. So don't diss us. Thank you.
Mort,
Mort, only in this country, God bless America, can people dress the way they want, say what they want, speak the way they want.
Yes.
If this was Iran now, with the Ayatollah Khamenei, or if this was the Soviet
Ayatollah
Union now,
Khamenei,
three-quarters
South
of
to
the
West
people
would
in
eat
here
that
tonight
shit
would be
up.
in jail, but not in this country. God bless you.
Yes, yes. Finally.
See, he says, only in this country can you dress as you want, right? Baloney, man. Notice I'm wearing a jacket now. I don't like jackets, but they told me I have to wear them. So don't believe it. You gotta wear them, you know.
Oh, come on. He's Ric Flairing it.
Hey, Ace, give it a feel. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No ties.
I got that loose, baby. Go, ma'am.
There's been a lot said tonight. I haven't heard one thing about fans. We're the ones who wait online in the pouring rain. We're the ones who buy the records. We're the ones who call the radio stations. We're the ones who write the letters to the fan clubs. Not one of you said anything about us.
We're the ones who spread backstage.
That's because these people
What about us?
Yeah, what the fuck? You're only doing this job because you get money from it.
And
Okay.
we see what's coming in. We see what's new. These people don't jump on a bandwagon until 2 years after the band's made it big. You have talented bands like Circus of Power, talented bands like the Cycle Sluts from Hell here, bands that you people do not
Cycle
support
Sluts
until
from
they've
Hell
already
made it all the way to
proven
Beavis
themselves.
and
Or you
Butthead,
sit
at
back
least.
in an ivory tower, you write about it. How about a little bit of originality in it? You can sit here and you can criticize them and say they're jumping on a bandwagon. You don't know what you're talking about.
I'd get up and cut a promo on this guy, too.
Behind you, okay? You got somebody like John Zazula over here who signed King's
I wrote
X.
about Tracy Chapman before she was anybody. I've written about maniacs. Let me tell you something. You're picking the wrong argument here. You're picking the wrong argument.
Some of these people just can't be real. They have to be like.
Go ahead. Let me go to this gentleman
They
right
gotta
here.
be
Go ahead, pal.
actors.
A few minutes ago, someone passed a remark about Public Enemy. Yeah. Okay, now how come they can make albums about racial hatred, kill the white people, and in the minute someone like Patti Smith does the Easter album, passes a racial remark?
They never
it's
said that. Public Enemy
right
never
off.
said that.
They have.
Did you buy the record? Did you listen to it?
I have it right from my brother's tape. I listened to it in his car.
All they talk about is black supremacy like all the rest of these bums. They go around like Sharpton and all the rest of them saying, oh, we are the superior race and everything. I listen to the music.
Yeah, they got it, bummers.
And I know. You gotta shut up, all right? They're all
Oh my God! Here we go.
Public Enemy.
Man, look at the guy in the the guy looks like MC Hammer in a turtleneck is ready to pop off.
All they say is that it's time, black people, they get a bum deal in this country, and they're just saying that black, hey, if a white person, yeah, but why can't, okay, but why is a white person, how come you can come out and say that white people, how come you can say white people,
we're the fans. We're the one that buy the records. We have the ultimate decision. Now, if we want to support rock groups, let us support them. They're the best lyricists that there are today. You should hear some of these lyrics.
Interracial, no color barrier, whatever.
Oh, what they do? I'm black and I love heavy metal. Shut your mouth.
Kenny Powers yelling at her from the other side of the building. This is, oh man, I would love to be in a show like this.
Rock and roll.
Joey Ramone still in the crowd. Oh, I guess that's it. Okay. Let me find this guy. Anything good on here? My own video? Thoughts on the LA riots? Okay, hang on. Okay, I'm done, bro. JQ speaks. Okay, here we go. This is from 2 months ago, but it popped up in my algorithm, and I thought we would just give it a quick look, see what we think.
I'm done, trying to get people to hear my feelings out, bro. I'm out of steam, bro. It don't do no good. I feel like every time you open up, all you do is give those people fuel to use against you anyway. Throw the stuff that you told to them in confidence that make you vulnerable, they throw it back in your face. And then when you react a certain way and you call them out on what they do and you speak the truth, now all of a sudden they're the victim and you're the blame. You're the problem. You're making something out of nothing. You're doing too much. Man, shut up. That's to everybody who think that way, man. Shut up. Because all y'all out there who operate that way, y'all know that's foul. Y'all know that's cold. And y'all know that what you putting on the people who you taking advantage of that is not true. Instead of being mature people and mature adults and facing up to...
It's called I'm Done Bro. And the guy's name is JQ Speaks. This has 28 views from 2 months ago.
The accountability that comes with what you did to said person or said people, and apologizing and being willing to make amends and putting the effort and not sit back and try to make that person chase you.
No, I don't think it's original.
Right.
I think it fits in with, like, the algorithm is like, okay, he likes savvy guy. Remember we saw, like, the guy in the business suit that was, like, kind of a savvy spinoff. Now we have, like, a spinoff of the spinoff.
Ignoring them and acting like that person doesn't exist when you're the one who mistreated them. And quite frankly, they have a right to treat you like you didn't exist. But they don't. They continue to be kind, and you do them dirty, leave them hanging, as if that makes things better. You know, I'm tired of people, man. Like, people are just stupid. You know, they're just stupid nowadays. Like,
I like that he's
no common sense, no accountability, no sympathy,
his feelings to people,
no empathy, especially for men.
Where he's revealing his feelings to us.
Like, the moment that you open up about things like this as a man, you know, you're seen as a crybaby and all that garbage, but it is what it is. People just use these shaming tactics because they're afraid of the truth. Like I said, it's two spirits out there, man. You know, when you...
Wait, huh? Two spirits, is that like, remember, what was it called? What was it called? Twin flame.
Are delivering from the source of good fruits, you know, you automatically gonna collide with the bad fruits. Because it's just too different, you know? Bad spirits don't like the truth. They don't like the truth, man. Good spirits, they run toward it. That's the difference. You got one running toward, one running away.
Yeah, he doesn't have,
so when you run toward the truth, that means you're going to face that person who is doing you wrong.
If that makes sense.
And you face that person by holding them accountable with the truth.
Twin flames.
And with that person that got a bad spirit on them, since they run from the truth, what they going to do? Shame you, get defensive, yell, snap, lose their cool, you know, cuss you out, blame you, flip things on you, gaslight you, deflect.
Tell me, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Run the other way, ghost you, pretend like you don't exist, ignore your calls, ignore your texts, ignore you when you talk to them to their face. Like, you know, it's...
Sorry, buddy, I tried. Okay. So this is from 2 months ago, but I just found it because I don't look through shorts very often. But this is called Freshly, Elegantly Prepared Mint. See if you think this is a paid product placement.
What's going on, guys? Back at you guys with another presentation right quick, guys. This is actually going to be not a long little presentation, but I want to tell you guys, if you want something that is crisp, if you want this is actually going to be not a long little presentation, but I want to tell you guys,
I have to.
What's going on, guys? Back at you guys with another presentation right quick, guys. This is actually going to be not a long little presentation, but I want to tell you guys, if you want something that is crisp, if you want something that is nice, if you want something that is elegant, if you want something that is refined, if you want something that is rare, but truly unique and a true gem, This is one of my favorite scents. Favorite scents. Geranium Pour Monsieur. You can get this from Fragrance Net. This was gifted to me. I love this fragrance. Composed by Mr. Dominique Ropion. This is a beautiful, beautiful scent, guys. I'm telling you, if you want something that's unique, something that's different, this smells like fresh cut mint. Fresh cut mint with the elegant twist to it. This is the epitome of elegance. True masculine, sophisticated elegance right here. Geranium Pour Monsieur. Check it out. Composed by Mr. Dominique Ropion. From the house of Frederick Maw.
For sure they sent him this product, right?
What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? Back at you guys with another presentation right quick, guys. This is actually going to be not a long little presentation, but I want to tell you guys.
I think somebody... Okay, I'm going to put a theory out there, okay? That's all. Just in case this turns into a thing, all right? Because it happened to Beth. I think someone donated this thing to Savvy Guy and told him that they wanted him to advertise it. And they said, listen, I want you to make really crazy faces at the camera. And I want you to make sure you say that it smells like fresh cut mint with an elegant twist on it. And then that's it. So, like, someone just viewed it as a chance to have, you know, Savvy Guy make a goofy video. That's my theory on it. We'll know if I'm right if it, like, escalates. That might be his best video. I mean, that's a really good video. Okay, let's go to the world teacher. Let's see what Jimmy's doing. Oh boy. Who do you think I am? YouTube algorithm. Let's just go to the page. Man, that was a great video though by Savvy Guy. Well, he hasn't been posted on this one, it doesn't look like. Oh my god, what?
This video is to Keemstar. Hey Keemstar, you don't help me, God's gonna kill you.
Huh?
Kill him right now, God. This video is to Keemstar.
Huh?
Hey Keemstar, you don't help me, God's gonna kill you.
LGBT?
Kill him right now, God. This video is to Keemstar.
Whoa, what is going on?
Hey Keemstar. These devil worshipping faggots running this city.
Oh my god.
This video is to Keemstar.
What is going on?
These devil.
For my part.
Oh God. Music to my ears. Don't show any of these evil faggots any mercy, God. Yeah, they let everybody on YouTube get thousands of views about their visit to Yosemite yesterday, huh? May 9th, 2025, huh? But I get no attention at all, huh? You evil homosexual terrorists working for Google! Oh, God! You sexually abusive faggot!
Okay.
Believe the homosexual terrorists working at Google aren't letting my Yosemite videos through. It's genocidal sexual abuse. Oh God! Homosexual terrorists uncensor me now. Believe the homosexual.
What?
Not letting my Yosemite videos spread in the algorithm. It's sexual abuse, you evil terrorist scum.
Where's the Yosemite?
How you doing? It's May 3rd, 2025. Oh yeah. So I wanted to explain something right here. So the
That's
holy
what I
man,
heard, get cracked.
right? He sometimes has to do a little bit of sorcery, a little bit of witchcraft.
You got banned from panel
to
and
defend
chat?
himself.
Wow. Over the Spicoli thing?
So, what's going on here with the AI and the algorithm? The blood of Jesus Christ has power over it. Just so we're clear. I mentioned before God's steamroller.
I don't understand that at all. I don't get how, I don't know, maybe Jimmy's big into YouTube and he just watches LolCow Live or something, but that's a strange crossover, and it looked like only the one video really referenced it. That's really weird.
The blood of Jesus Christ is God's steamroller. Who do you think I am?
Let's go. Lowering for the end of the video. Hold on. I might have time. We might have time to watch one more short one. We could check in on somebody or see somebody. Let's see if we can find woman arrested for vigorously pleasuring herself. Here we go.
In July 2024, police received a call about an individual pleasuring themselves at a local park. After a witness called police about the alleged lewd act, officers went to the park and were initially looking for a male that was passed out with his pants down. However, when they got there, they realized it was actually a woman.
Hilton Cag, he's masturbating.
Look at this beautiful park, man. Yo! Oh, wow, let's go.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hi!
Yeah, interesting.
What are you doing?
Got my pants on, apparently.
Yeah, well, you're touching yourself vigorously.
I don't know if it was vigorous, but I apparently thought I needed to have the air breathe at one point.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be rubbing on it, too.
Hey, you can have the clam out, just don't be opening it.
Why would you be masturbating in public?
I don't know. Wasn't trying to. I don't have a memory of it.
You weren't trying to?
No.
Well, it clearly was. You were doing it.
I know,
so I don't
she
know
just
how you
laid
weren't trying to.
down
It's a she,
right
not a
next
he.
to the road.
She was, dingling her, danglies.
She was dingling her dangly. These are police
Do you have
officers.
ID with you?
No.
No?
Is RP still at the lobby?
I don't know. I witnessed it, so we're good. Do you have gloves? Oh yeah, she's gone. She's gone. This is she anyhow, so I'll let you have at it.
That one's gone.
That's okay. I saw it and I had another guy flag me down. So the exposure.
The rooster constantly crowing in the background is amazing.
Did she give you her ID yet or no?
No, not yet.
Now we have an ID?
She doesn't.
Yep.
What a nice park, though.
Hey, sit up.
Oh, waiting on the female.
You can hang out.
I'm still thinking about that blonde cop from the one arrest that was back at the station. Look, she was like 6'2".
In your pocket, poke, stick, stab, anything like that. Yes or no?
No.
This is all coins.
It is. Look at it. It's a beautiful park.
Where are you from?
Pensacola, Florida at the moment.
Florida.
Convicted felon?
No.
No. What have you been arrested for?
Put your hands on top of your head and interlace them.
What's your first name, ma'am?
Teresa.
I think she was arrested for mopery.
Last name?
Yeah, the giantess cop.
Do you have a middle name?
Juggernaut class.
What's your date of birth? And your ID's out of Florida?
She was dingler,
yeah.
danglers.
When I had
Saying
one.
his name.
I'm going to put it in the computer.
Oh, look at that skyline. Wow, they brought out 3 cops for the masturbator. Or 3 vehicles. Probably like 6 cops.
There you go. That's how we're starting our day, huh? All right.
What a way to start a day. I come out here and this
Bet you have a girl.
broad's dangling her dinglers out here in the fog. Vigorously.
Dude, if you don't try and make fun of this stuff, you go crazy. Because that's something I didn't want to start my day seeing.
I would have probably just kept walking.
It's summertime and they're coming down here. This is like a winter thing.
Alright, man, I'm going to get up.
I'd have just tried to enjoy the park.
Turn around. Maybe on your back.
Ooh, can I get my jacket?
Yeah, I'll grab it in a second. You're arrested for indecent exposure.
She was shooting a TikTok where she was
Is the park
hoping
open?
that people would watch her and then she could
6 or
shame
7?
them up in TikTok videos.
Oh, park after hours too.
7 to 11.
Gosh, I wish I knew the rest of the story.
Teresa, I gotta tell you though, I'm impressed you actually have an old school map. Most new kids don't even know how to read those.
On the plus
We ever
side,
lose
you
the
know how to
internet, they're
read a
gonna be
map.
lost.
The downside, you're vigorously pleasuring yourself in a public park.
All right, let's go.
Look at those, those trees are so cool. Get your darn fingers out of the way. You're ruining the shot. was a pretty calm arrest once, once the plan was recovered. Things went pretty smoothly.
And scene.
She was charged with indecent exposure, which is a misdemeanor, and booked into the county jail. Her bond was $5,000.
$500 for trying to bust a nut in a public park. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. Thank you for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow for George Dorunda. It looks like Ben's still giving his thoughts on the LA riots. If you're looking for some intellectual content.